is just some sponsors we have, dude. They gave us some shit, so
We are skate straight.
I'm giving it out to you.
Bro, I appreciate that shit.
Yeah,
Thank
dude.
you.
And I saw y'all's little skit y'all did on stage the other night with the inmates and shit, and homeboy came and arrested you. That shit was tight. That shit was tight. So I threw in a couple security shirts in there.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. You can probably use those. I don't know.
Boss man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Security.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's great, bro. That is fucking legendary.
I dig the little skits though, man. That on the live show. Do y'all always do that?
No, actually. So for that, damn, I feel like. Wait, did we already start the?
I mean, I'm already recording.
Oh shit. I was like, damn, I should probably save all these answers. Like,
It's all good, man.
yeah, I am talking about my fucking. Wait, can I cuss on your show?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, I was like,
There's
damn.
yeah. Anything goes, man. Anything.
Cool. But yeah, freaking that Battle of the Band show that we just did for the So What was actually from my boy JBA. He had got a slot. He like whatchamacallit, had sent in his music to get reviewed by like the Third Stream production team.
Okay,
and
yeah.
then he got chosen with like I think a handful. It was like what was there, Panda? Like 9 bands there. Yeah, like 8 or 9 bands there that like got selected, and then he got chosen, and it was actually his first show ever, bro.
No shit.
And
That's wild to me that these people get their first show ever, and they're on this stage already, and like already have this following kind of, and like I've never played a show before.
not yeah, and
Like back when I was playing shows and shit, dude, like it wasn't like that. No one's coming to your shit. No one's fucking listening to you, you know. And now you can show up and just mob out with a whole bunch of people. That's just wild to me.
it really is, bro. Cause shit, that's how it was when like earlier, shit, man, like 2018, 2017, like even 19 for me, like no one was ever coming to my shows.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
and
you've been in
then-
the game for a little while though, like since 2017, right?
Yeah, shoot. Actually, even before, bro. Like, I was in a band called Civic Duty with my guitar player, who actually still plays with me to this day. I was the drummer
Sick.
for the band, and we were in a band from like 2014 to like 2016. And then we actually we're gonna work out like a distribution type of deal with one of my boys. His name's Ryan, and he had a label at the time, and he offered us to like, he was like, yo, I want to invest in y'all and da 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 da, and like basically sign under him.
Yeah.
And then long story short, like all parties just didn't agree on like signing, and then that's when I was like, all right, well, I'm not finna let anybody hold me back any more than like people have already have, because like what, like we were about to be
Right.
signed, like even though it was like a minor like label, but like still to have a backing, like someone actually putting money into you is like
Exactly.
rare as hell. Like nobody ever puts money behind me. Like everything that I've done, like I've done all on my own. Like
Oh, okay.
all
So
financials, like all everything. Like
everything's in house with you.
yeah, everything's all in home. Like no one's ever believed into me the way I believe in myself.
And they never
so
will.
like
Yeah, no one ever will. man.
which is fine. Like you know, like who am I to just like have an ego, right? And be like, oh well, like you have to believe in me, like, and you have to,
Yeah.
you know, like. So I get it. You gotta like work. You obviously gotta work your way up and everything, but just itching for that good old investor. Cause man, with an investor, oh boy, we'd make so much money. Cause I had the
I
blueprint.
mean, you've already, yeah, that's what I was about to say. You've already got everything, it seems like. You got the clothing, the following, everything's set up online. Like, all you need is just that little,
Yeah, the oomph, the
That's what I'm-
push.
that's what I'm saying, dude,
all I
like-
need is just a little shove off the cliff. and
Yes,
it's like,
dude.
all right, cool, we in the cut.
exactly.
But like,
Like, I was just telling Jake before you got here, like, I was listening to your latest album, like, all day today, just checking the vibe out, man. And I'd be really surprised if you don't catch an album deal.
man, I
I'm
appreciate.
serious.
That,
Like,
for real.
I'd be really surprised. And the only way I don't see it happening would be like some kind of marketing issue. Because if you don't catch a deal from that album, dude, I mean, what the fuck?
Man, I appreciate that. And yeah, like you said, the marketing thing, man, that's one of the things I've been trying to learn this marketing shit, bro. Like, it's so hard.
So
Like,
you're doing it all just trial and error. Is that how you're doing it?
yep.
Yeah.
Everything is trial and error with me, bro. Like, and it's crazy because, like, people will ask me, they'll be like, oh, well, what did you do to da-da-da-da? And I'm like, shit, man, if only I could tell you what I actually, like.
I mean, you seem like you got it figured out.
I appreciate
It
that.
seems like it.
'Cause I actually really appreciate that because, like, bro, like, outside, I want to get, like, how people perceive me, because like I feel like the perception of me is like, oh, this guy's wealthy, he's made it, he's got good music, he has this, that, and the third, and that like I just like don't have any struggle with anything, and like I just like got it. Like it's the polar opposite, and so it's like I tell my boy Panda all the time, like, bro, I really want to get how people perceive me, because like I want it to be, you know.
Yeah, the perception I get is on the come up. I mean, I feel like you're really like you were saying, you just need that little oomph, and you're like about to blast off. You're just right on that tipping point, man. And I think you just keep on pushing, keep doing those shows, keep getting that fucking battle of the band shit, and you're just right there, man.
Man, I really appreciate that.
I think
bro.
so, man. It's just from, I can tell just from the production value, the songwriting, you put your thought into it, and there's not a lot of people putting thought into shit these days. And I'm a tough music critic, dude. Like I was in a band and shit, and like I'm real tough on it. And
I like that type of shit.
yeah, and so like I really dig your shit.
Shout out Liquid Death.
Yeah, for real, right? Also, need that sponsorship. How long have you and Panda been working with shit, man?
Shit, man.
Because I don't know if y'all know, but we actually have all met before.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so I met Panda at Dallas Ain't Dead.
That's when I met him too.
No way. Yeah. So we actually put on that event.
Y'all are the ones who put on Dallas Ain't Dead?
Yeah, we put
with
on
Flacco, right?
With Flacco. He just came on before you did.
Bro, I had seen that on your Instagram. You're like,
so we put on that event, and I met you at our wood grain booth. You came up, said, "What's up?" Probably. Yeah. Isn't that a trip? Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you met him. No shit.
It's actually crazy because, bro, I have a Dory memory. Like, as I was just like in here and I was telling you, I was like, bro, like I took pictures for somebody. Like, you know, like I was I'd be forgetting. And like I was watching your first podcast with Kenny, and you're like, yeah, I did wood grain and da da da. I was like, bro, it's like you took me like a blast from the past. I was like, holy shit! I was like, I remember meeting bro at the fucking booth. Like I just walked up to y'all and I was like, yo, like what's up?
Yeah, dude, like, I've got footage of you like performing and like at the booth and shit, sitting with us. Like it's a trip, dude.
That's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's legendary as fuck, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. He's got the tank top right there, the wood grain.
Unlocked, and it's wild because like Panda actually had he tapped in with me because I was selling tickets, I think, for the Dallas Ain't Dead.
Okay.
He had tapped in with me and he was like, yo, I want a ticket. And I was selling these fanny packs at the time too, where it had my logo on it, and I only did like 15 of them. 13? Yeah. 13 of them, and he had hit me up and was like, yo, bro, I really want one of those fannies, and I need a ticket to your show.
Yeah, right.
He had no clue who I was. I had no clue who he was. Like,
well, you've got some dope merch, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
I really
appreciate that.
You got some dope shit.
I really
and like again, I'm tough on clothing and shit because I had the clothing brand, and you really put some thought into your shit, man. I like all the glitter. I like the fucking. You got your heart thing, man. You got a whole logo. I'm digging it, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. Thank you. And then yeah, man. Then he had tapped in with me, and then I think I met up with you there, right? Yeah, I met up with you there, and I gave you the ticket and the fanny, and then we just started chopping it up, and then I remember we took this picture all together. It was me, him, Tree, and fuck, what is old boy's name? It'll come to me randomly.
Yeah.
But we had all took a picture like right outside the venue or whatever, or it was inside the venue because it was like a weird like hall, I think there was. And then we had took a picture all together, and then we were like, yo, we need to lock in. And then like typically how that shit goes is like, okay, we're just gonna say we're gonna lock in, and then we go about our days, and then before you know it, it's like years and like never link in. And he pulled up on me, I think, like the following week. Because I'm really, okay, it's like me, it's kind of bad. Like, I really need to change it. But, like, I'm a homebody as fuck, bro. So, like, if you want to come, like, pull up into my energy field, come.
I'm the same way, man.
Like, come. Like, and so, like, that to me will, like, dictate whether or not, like, the person is, like, serious about wanting to, like, link in with me or, like, wanting to, like, actually work or whatever. And, like I said, like, a few days after that event, bro shows up to my crib, and like we just get to chopping it up, and then turns out like we have like 1,000,001 fucking things in common. Like, I don't know anybody else that I've ever met other than my fucking friend Oscar, which shout out Oscar. I don't know anybody else, bro, who has ever done a Pokemon card YouTube channel.
Okay.
And like did like card openings and
Oh, yeah.
like deck reviews and
yeah,
all sorts of shit like when we were younger. And I mean, I still love Pokemon to this day, but I never knew anybody who did that shit. And he did that. Like Panda did that stuff.
way.
And I was like, bro,
Y'all-
what? I
y'all
was
just
like,
found each other like that.
yeah, and I was like, no way, bro. Like you were in the Poketube community. I was like, no fucking way. Like,
Wow.
it's fate. Like we're brothers now.
Yeah, dude.
and then literally like an hour or two later, we recorded our first song together. And then like a few days after that, I had flew out to LA for a little while, and then fucking just from that point forward, we just been locked in and making moves. And then really, we had kind of went through like a little. Not necessarily like I don't fuck with you, you don't fuck with me, but just like we were on different paths for a little while, right? And then I was actually at like fucking damn bottom that I feel like I've ever been. And I mean, shout out to my whole team and everybody who I work with and I'm around. Like, you know, everyone was there for me as much as they possibly could because we're all busy. But like this man just like took like the little extra step that like he did not have to by any means, and like was there with me through like it fucking all, and like helped pick me up. And like that's when like if it wasn't for him, bro, I really probably wouldn't even have been like moving at the rate that I'm moving right now, because like he inspired me to like pick my feet back up and like continue my run.
Well,
because
you perform too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
y'all probably draw inspiration off each other, you know, just in that vibe, the same energy.
facts.
Yeah.
And like really he helped me like make my light go from dim to bright again, because like I mean the fire was ready to burn out, bro. Like I mean we don't have to go too deep in detail on the podcast and stuff, but like I mean like I was just ready to like end it, bro. Like, you know, like, and like I was just at like rock bottom. Like I was just fed up. I was done, like completely done, like to where we wouldn't even be having a conversation right here. Like, you know, like I was really like at that point, and like if it wasn't for him being like right there next to me like all the time, like I would have done it. Like, you know, like I would have done it. And like I don't say that obviously like very proudly or like encouraging anybody to
Real shit, man. Yeah.
you know, do that type of thing. And so because ultimately it is very selfish to like take yourself, you know, like because there are people all around you who like care and love for you that
Sure.
you know, at the time when you're in your own emotional state, like all sort of logic kind of goes out the window, because like you're reacting off of like your emotional responses. And like in these last like year and a half, 2 years, I've had to learn a lot of an emotional intelligence. And like
We all have, dude.
facts,
I mean, everybody has.
dead ass, especially with the pandemic, man. Like
Yeah.
especially with the 2020 year. Like I mean, yeah, because 2020 was the year where I was just like, it had. I mean, COVID had, you know, didn't help, but like there were just so many other things going on that like all caught up to me just like all at once, where I was just like, I'm fucking done. And yeah, man, like really long story short, like this guy's the fucking goat. So shout out 64 Panda, because like without my mans, bro, like I don't know, I wouldn't be here. So
Right. So y'all just did the show to, yesterday, right?
yeah, we did.
Tell
We
me about
did
that.
we did the Battle of the Bands with JBA yesterday, and I went out and I performed my song Out of My Head with JBA, and that was actually JBA's first ever song that like he like recorded with his own vocals, and like
Shit.
because he's a producer and a DJ and a show curator really, and he was like, I really want to like make some music, and I was like, all right, bet. And then he sent me this like rock beat, and honestly, like shout out JBA for real, because I've been wanting to do like rock music for the longest, but like couldn't find the right people to like who were serious with it with me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I was saying earlier, like people be like, yeah, let's lock in, like let's work, and you know they'll be like fire, like they're like they're good, like, and like how you were telling me earlier, you're a big music critique and stuff. I'm the same way, bro. Like it really takes like, I don't know, like you just really gotta catch my ear, because most of the shit to me just like I don't like.
You can hear it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, you know?
Mhm.
And so really if it wasn't for JBA coming to me with like this instrumental for Out of My Head and was like, try something with this, and then like it wouldn't have sparked any of the album that you've been listening to either, because like that's what inspired me to be like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Like I need to get a drum set again, because I played the drums for the longest, like how.
So are you playing drums on those tracks?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, on
That's badass.
all those I played the drums on, except for except for Start Over. That's the only one that I didn't play the
There's some
drums
sick
on.
fills in there, dude.
Thanks, man. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
I'm telling you, man. I'm listening out for shit. Like it's a dope track, man. All the tracks on there are dope, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, like, greatly.
For sure. So what's that whole process like with your making music? Are you getting tracks from other people? Are you creating tracks? Are you I mean, obviously you're playing the drums on them. So what's that whole process with him? Is he just sending you the track and you're laying
So,
vocals over it? And
for
what's your whole
like,
process?
well, damn. So my process kind of like just kind of varies. So like sometimes like I will get sent like a beat like how JBA did and was like here's here's a little beat pack da 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 like let me know what you think
Mhm.
and then from there if I like it then I'll usually just load it up in like Logic and I'll like lay a little demo down. Fun fact, I don't write any of my music. Like I don't write.
Everything's freestyled
Mm,
off the top.
yeah, I wouldn't quite say like freestyle where I could just if you were to be like, yo, let me play a beat right now, and then
Well,
I'm about
yeah,
to give you like the hardest like
yeah,
Juice
okay,
World type of
I get you,
freestyle, but like
So I get it. Like,
punch-ins,
so
you know?
yeah, punch-ins. That's what I was about to get at. So you're in the studio, letting it play, punching in what feels good, and taking out what doesn't. That type of shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so really it just comes down to like how the beat makes me feel. Like if the beat has got me to where I can be like, oh man, bet let me load up the fucking microphone, then like I'm there. But
That's awesome, dude. See, I think music is so situational like that. It's where like it's kind of hard to like take a track and work on it day after day after day because it gets numb to the artist and you don't feel the same way you did like the first time you heard it.
yeah,
So in that first session, the first time you hear it, you got to catch that vibe and ride that wave. 'Cause
exactly.
You're not gonna be able to catch. It's rare to catch that vibe again and catch that same wave
Super
again.
rare,
It's
bro.
hard.
And then especially when it's like something that's a little more like if you're however you feel at that time and maybe you're a little more like darker with it, right?
Yeah.
And like cuz I mean you heard some of those songs like some of them are like a lot more sad than others and like
Mhm.
things like that and like sometimes it's hard to like have to put myself back in that mindset just so that way I can
Yeah.
like re-record the song if I didn't
'Cause
like how
sometimes
like
you're not feeling like that and you don't want to get all.
yeah, and I don't want to feel like that
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
So I'm like I don't even want to bring myself back into that like
Yeah.
if I don't have to. So like I try to always just like finish out like the full thing like right there at the time and like depending on like the night I mean like I don't know if you ever heard any of my Scared to Love project
Yeah, listen to it too.
but I did all that in one day.
What?
Like I recorded 8 songs in one
See,
day.
dude, that's the work. The whole work ethic is what's gonna make you succeed. Because there's not everybody putting shit out like that.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
telling you, dude. I talk to a lot of people. There's not a lot of people that got that ethic that can sit down and focus and put out a whole like not just one track, like 6 of them. You know what I
Man,
mean?
I appreciate that, bro. Cause like, yeah, it was actually crazy. Cause like, typically, I could usually record 2 to 4 songs like in a session.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the Scared to Love project, I was just actually at the crib one night, and I like shout out Zadika, cause Zadika's the one who sent me the beats for on that project actually, and he sent me a pack of I think like 15 beats or something like that, and then like I literally just like was like, all right, bet, and then loaded each one in and just like got off like almost everything that I needed to say, like
Yeah.
all in like that one sitting, like
Man, you know that's what Wayne did, right?
yeah,
Wayne did that shit too. He everything he had written down, he spit it all in one fucking take in one session, and from then on he's freestyled everything.
But what's crazy is for the Scared to Love one, I didn't even like I said I didn't even write any of those like
That's a trip, man.
man, I wish Bari was here too. Shout out Bari. Like Bari's like he's on 2 of the songs on that project. He like came through later in the night and he was like, "Bro, what you been doing today?" And I was like, "Shit, man, I've recorded like 6 songs. Like, what's up? You trying to get on something or like what's good?" And then we made the other 2, which made for the total of 8. And I think I only dropped like 4 or 5 like on the project because like after I record music, I like to like sit on it for a minute and like really determine if it's like okay, like
That
drop
ta-
worthy,
That takes some like what's the word I'm looking for? It takes some skill to sit there and just kind of sit on your shit for a while because you want to put it out to the world sometimes and just get it going, you know?
Like yes and no for me cuz like for me like I don't know. I look at like I kind of have a problem with like being vulnerable a lot cuz I've like just having, even just being like a kid, I had to kind of always stay closed in and like I was always counted out of like everything. Like I was like the black sheep in every situation, you know? And so when I do open up and get vulnerable, I feel like nobody actually cares. And so then it's like,
Oh, people care, man.
which I'm growing to realize, as I'm getting older and stuff, like it's just some of the, just different, I guess you could call it traumas and things, that
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got their shit they gotta grow through, right?
facts, exactly. And so that's just like, I'm trying to get back to the original point, but for me, I just like to hold on to like my music because it's like kind of like a child to me, It's like, I'm not a parent, but I'm sure some parents could relate the thought and feeling of like sending your kid off to school for the first time, where you're like, oh, they're not gonna be around me 24/7, like, oh, I gotta let them go, like, it's kind of how it is with like me with the music. Is like I don't know if I'm ready to quite like let it go and let it walk in the park.
Most artists are like their worst critic anyway. So
that is true.
Sit there and critique that shit forever.
Because like 100% you're right. Because I could probably play you a track right now that to me is
what
like.
you played before we started was, I thought that sounded ready to put out to me.
Dude, it's crazy. It's not even mixed. Like.
Yeah.
So
put
thank
that out,
you.
You know what I'm saying? You could put that out now, and I don't think anyone would know that it's not mixed.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Is like a lot of people, other than like artists, don't fucking know the difference.
That is very true.
When we'll sit there and like mix something down for fucking hours and hours and hours, and you probably didn't even need to do that, and no one would have fucking known that.
No one would even noticed. Yeah.
Kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push. Radio, 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 radio.
Mondays 6 to 8, Kick Push Radio, for skaters by skaters, 89.3 FM, Dallas, Texas.
100%. What's crazy is I feel like we had just kind of like jumped right in. So like I'm Connor Gibbons.
Yeah, this is Connor.
This is Nick Martin,
Yeah.
and we're on the What's Up With That podcast, and it's an honor to be here, bro.
Yeah, thanks for coming down, dude.
I really appreciate you having me here.
Sure.
And I just wanted to toss that little intro in.
Yeah. So Connor, he's been in the game for a long time. Just put out his latest album, The Show Must Go On. He's got, man, check out everything from 2017, Heartbreaker EP, Till Next Time, Scared to Love, The Show Must Go On. It's all real good. I've been listening to it all day. Great tracks. There's a lot of thought and effort put into this music. It's not just this typical SoundCloud shit you hear all day, every day. There's thought and effort put into it, and there's songwriting into it. I really dig it, and I think y'all really like it too. And I actually wanted to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
Who's chopping and screwing your shit?
Oh, for that TNT chopped and screwed.
Dude, I dig that.
Oh, dude, thanks, man. That's my boy Jay Spinna. Huge shout out to Jay Spinna because
you
like
a few things with him, right?
oh, bro, damn near everything.
Oh, okay.
Few of the projects like Till Next Time project and Scared to Love project. Till Next Time, production wise, like the beats was all done by Stanfield. So shout out Stanfield too. But the engineering and like the mixing of everything was Jay Spinna.
Oh, okay, so he's your guy.
Yeah, like Spinna. I've been with Spinna since like 2015. Like,
Right on.
actually, nah, like 2014, bro. I lied, and we met on Twitter actually. Like, cause I was telling you earlier I was in a band and I was like, man, I would love to put out like a solo like album one day. And then like, Spinna commented and was like, let's do it. And I was like, you're kidding, like for real? Like it was that simple? I made a tweet and like, you for real? And then I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. Like I didn't have anything to my name other than just here I am. And bro picked me up from my mom's crib and we went to a studio and like we knocked out like a few songs like that day. And like ever since then, we've just been building and growing. And like
That's dope, man.
now he's a fucking Billboard charting producer and like he's working with 1,000,001 different people, and I'm like beyond fucking proud of him.
Looking at your numbers today, dude, you got 6,500 monthly listeners just on Spotify.
Thanks, man.
That's pretty damn good, dude.
It's
Something to be proud of.
Honestly, it really is, man. Cause like for the longest, it like I don't know, I don't know. I try not to like think about it too much, but like I'm just extremely thankful and extremely grateful for like every single person who has been able to like connect with my like my words, my voice, and like what I guess have to offer the world, you know. And so I'm just extremely grateful and thankful for like every single ear that has, you know, listened and actually like appreciates and enjoys like what it is. And so yeah, man, super thankful for that too.
Do you
So
have like a target audience you're trying to go for? Is there like a certain demo of people you're going for? Doing it for the kids in the suburbs or kids in the streets? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's it all for, man?
shit, man. I think it really could be for like kind of everyone, like, because I try to, not necessarily try. I do like when I go in the studio, I do like make my lyrics to where it's like relatability and also like clever bars too, and like I try to keep it as like open demographic as possible because I don't want to just like pull in the niche of like just like a scene people or like scene kids, you know, like or like emo kids or like goth kids. I want to be able to like draw in everybody from like the ages of like newborn to like 110. Like, you know, I want like how Post Malone does, you man. Like, you know, like
He's got a huge demo.
yeah, like I feel like Posty like is it like has fans, like I said, like infants that are like loving his music, don't even know fully what it means, you know, but they're just like sonically like they just feel it and they love it. And like all the way to like you have like parents who are like, you know, like 50, 60-year-olds who are like, man, I just love Post Malone, like, you know, and like they're diehard Posty fans. And like so that's kind of like I guess the demographic I want to be on as well is just the open availability for like everyone and anyone to be able to connect to it, not just like, oh, you have to be an outcast, oh, you have to be emo, oh, you have to be a rapper, oh, you have to be, you know, like
Yeah, I mean, how did you kind of transition from that rap side to rock? Because you kind of seem to float in between both, not really boxed into anything.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man, like what's crazy is I actually like didn't listen to like almost like any rap at all when I was younger. Like I listened
was too.
like I listened to like a few, like, you know, I heard like your Soldier Boy, like, you know, I heard fucking your Eminem, your little bit of Jay-Z songs, but like I can't even name you those songs off the top of my head. Like, but if I heard them, I'd be like, oh fuck, that's who that is, you know. And I really listened to a lot of just like rock because I played Rock Band and Guitar Hero for like ever, bro. Like when I tell you like that was my shit,
Yeah,
like that was my shit. Like honestly, shout out to those games because that's what taught me how to play drums. Like I don't know how to read sheet music.
Okay.
I don't know like
Yeah.
any of that. I just like learned
I never thought about that. Yeah.
learned how to play it
Makes a lot of
because
sense.
the drums was, in my opinion, in that video game was the most like realistic instrument
Yeah,
out
for
of
sure.
all of them, other than the microphone.
That's the only thing where you're having to actually keep a rudiment, you know.
Right, you actually got to keep instead of just pressing a few colors and strumming, you know, which still, you know, is pretty hard to do sometimes. Like,
Just the strumming, but the fingerings are nothing. But the drumming though, that's totally.
oh yeah, a whole different breed.
Yeah, you could take that to the actual drum set, and it would sound like the beat, you know.
Like the beat,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's exactly what I did. It's actually really funny because Rock Band 3 used to have a pro mode for drums, where you could include a hi-hat cymbal, a crash cymbal, and another crash over here, and your 4 toms, which I guess the red would have been your snare. So 3 toms, snare, and then your cymbals. And what I used to do is I actually would like pull up on my TV. I'd just go on YouTube and like type in, let's say I want to learn like an Avenged Sevenfold song.
Yeah.
I would just be like, Avenged Sevenfold Afterlife Rock Band 3 Drums Pro, and pull it up on the TV, and then act like as if I was playing it, but I'm just playing it on my real drum set rather. And
That's
like,
fucking wild.
of course, you know, the tuning wasn't exact
Yeah, but
same
you're
and things
still-
like that, but it's still, you know, it's
Yeah.
the muscle memory and the learning of like, you know, how to keep up on beat and like stay like in time and
Pretty
like,
smart, dude.
thanks, man.
Fucking YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube Academy, bro. YouTube Academy.
For
Like,
real,
I'm telling you,
for
that's
real.
that shit has taught me
is a-
so much more than like any classroom has ever taught me. So
That's pretty smart, clever. Well, talk to me about this upcoming show, man, with D Savage, right?
oh yeah, man. Yes, I'm opening up for D Savage on the 30th. And I'm like super fucking stoked for this one because it's a bit of a bigger show. I mean, a lot of, you know, I feel like a decent amount of people know who D Savage is. So like, but not even just off of his name, but just for me personally, it's gonna be a really different and fun show because I'm gonna have a full live band behind me this time. So I'm gonna
You
have.
don't always have the live band with you.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I've only actually had the pleasure and honor of having a full live band one time out of like my whole time of like being a solo artist and performing and like doing these different shows in different areas of
I think it's
the nation.
needed now.
Honestly, like it kind of is like
You go up there with just a DJ and a mic, like I'm not really impressed, dude.
right.
Because anyone can do that.
And so that that's what actually kind of gave me a little more of like a shine, I guess, like as of recently on like the underground shows and things like that, more in like 2021, earlier in 2021, is because I started bringing out, even in 2019 actually, because I started bringing out Dylan. That's my guitar player, Dylan Rainey. So huge shout out to him. I started bringing him with me to like all my shows because he's the one who's in the studio with me too, like all the guitars.
That's what my next question was. Like, so is he the one laying down all those guitar tracks?
Yeah, so like I'd say like 95% of them he's done. The other 5% would be JBA.
He's cold.
Cold as fuck.
Yeah.
He's one of the coldest guitar players that like I know, bro. And he's had his different self doubts and things, and I'm like, nah, man. Like, come on, we're gonna get this shit shaking.
He's good,
because
man.
like how I was telling you earlier is like it's hard to get people to like believe in you and like what vision you have. So it gets very like discouraging and like very like, well, I don't even want to do it anymore. And like that's kind of like where he was sort of at, and I was like, nah, bro.
I think that's
like,
that breakthrough point, though. Everyone reaches that point, but it's
Facts.
the ones that push through that point are the ones that
Yes,
succeed. 'Cause
who, like-
everyone's gonna reach that point.
Facts. I feel like it's almost inevitable, you
Yeah,
know.
it is
Like,
inevitable.
for anything, not just music.
Yes.
Like for anything that you're trying to do, like
anything you truly pursue is gonna be a little challenging, and the ones that get through that threshold are the ones that succeed.
and that end up pushing through and like making it in their eyes, and like, but yeah, fucking back to the shows was I started bringing out Dylan with me, and everyone just got so much more in tuned versus me just like playing my backing track and me singing, and so everyone would be like, oh, like fuck, like he's got like a live guitarist with him, like, and that like totally changed the game for a lot of these like for like local and not even necessarily local, some of these like even out of state shows I've done too, and like things like that changed the whole entire atmosphere of like the room.
I think
And-
it gives you more professional look too, and because
I could agree.
Not only that, because like it's you got a team behind you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not just you up there by yourself. You got 6 other people with you backing you, saying, "Hey, no, this is what we do." So you're not up there just by yourself.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's like really cool too now because like I was just saying, I'm gonna have a full live band now, so I'll have a drummer, I'll have a bass player, I'll have guitar, I'll have a rhythm guitar, and I'll have a DJ with me. So like we're gonna be like the full shebang this
Yeah.
time, and it's so cool because like even on yesterday at the Battle of the Bands, they were like JBA was telling one of these other bands, Spineless Texas. Shout out to them too, they were cool as fuck. He was telling them, he was like, yeah, man, like we all just started playing together like literally like the week of the show, like because we're all each of our like what's so unique and like I think different about like the people I associate myself with and like the clique that we're in, things that we're all our own entity. So like we all have something to bring and offer to the table. We all have our own like music style. We all have our own like things going on. And so like we're not just like a band. And that was one of the things I was trying to like really push on everybody too, because I was kind of I guess like I don't know. I don't even like saying it because it just sounds egotistical, but like the leader or something, like the head guy, like because like I want us all to be like right here. I don't want to just be right here and everyone's behind me.
Right.
And so fucking when we were like in New York and LA and all these other places last year doing all these shows, everyone would be like, "What's the name of your band?" Like da 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 da. Oh, so y'all all a band? And no, we're not a band. Like we're each individual entity, but we all work together to make the shit shake and like make it like
Yeah, man, I love it. I
make
think
it
it's great.
full.
You got a whole collective right there. It's just not just one mind, So it really, I think you can hear it in your music too, because like I was saying, the songwriting is there. It doesn't sound like just someone bought a fucking track off SoundCloud or fucking something.
Thanks,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
For
Like,
real, yeah.
like I can tell that someone sat down and laid down a drum track, and then someone laid a guitar track, and then someone did some vocals. You know what I'm saying? There's levels.
The
of-
layers,
there's
yeah.
layers to it, and it's not just like I said. It's not just a beat someone by it and then lay the vocal on top.
Precisely.
Yeah. Oh, dude, another thing about your music that I thought was really cool that I really listen out for in other music, because like I said, I'm a big fucking music critique, and the dynamics in your music. Like, you got a lot of songs that start out a little loud and they go down, and then they come back up.
Yeah.
And they come down.
Like a roller coaster.
Exactly, man. And that builds those dynamics, and you really get a vibe rather than just a sound of a fucking
Like
song.
a straight shot, yeah, like
Yeah.
where the beat just kind of like
Exactly.
loops the
I
same.
noticed
Or
it's
like,
kind of a pattern in your music is the dynamics, and I thought that was pretty cool.
thanks, man. And like, honestly, huge like thanks to Jay Spinna for that too, because like he's honestly like the musical mastermind. Like, I mean, we're all each our own musical masterminds, you know, in our own sense, shape, or way. But like, Spinna's a different breed, bro. Like, this man Spinna is like god tier at this shit. And
He's
like,
local around here.
yeah, he's got his own studio, Sauce Factory Studios, that he opened up. I think it was like last year. Yeah, it was last year. He opened it up. It got the official like LLC, the paperwork, the whole 10, and like
Dope.
that's what he does now for a living. Is like he
Yeah.
just runs his studio, and like he's able to do everything that he's been wanting to do. Really, he really has taught me like so much, man. Like he's taught me a lot on like music structure. He's taught me a lot on like what you were saying, like just the dynamics of like, hey, like we need to have XYZ amount of instruments for this hook, and then we need to take it the fuck down for these verses, you know?
Exactly.
And so if he wasn't there to kind of help direct me, like I don't think I'd be as advanced as like I am to this day. And like, so he's really like helped me like grow in multiple ways as like a person, an artist, every way possible, honestly. Like he's one of my like biggest inspirations, and like it's my brother, so it's like it's cool as fuck like that he's a part of my life. So
That's awesome, man. I think you can hear it in your music, man.
thank you, bro.
You can hear that come through, sure. Who came up with this idea with the inmates on stage and everything, and homeboy coming through and arresting you?
That was JBA. Yeah,
was
that
funny,
shit was so
dude.
clean.
That was funny.
'Cause he
It's
was like-
clever, dude, because end of the day, you're an entertainer.
Right.
You're on stage, you're putting on a show, and you got to be entertaining.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I thought that was it's really clever. It's really funny, and it really gets people to look at you and like, oh, you remember that dude? He got fucking took off stage by the fucking
By the
cops.
cop,
Did you
right,
see
yeah,
that?
by the
was fucking-
security, like-
yeah, it gets people talking, dude. I think it's just clever as fuck, man, and that's the type of shit that really puts people over the edge and gets people talking, like I said. And yeah, who came up with that?
That was JBA, man. Like he had cause he like I said, it was his first show, and he was like, man, I want to add just like one more element into this. And then he was like, how do you feel about us being like inmates, and then like we have like somebody dressed as a cop and like come get us at the end? And I was like, yeah, like that sounds like a great idea. Like let's do it.
Yeah.
And Panda was saying, he was like, dude, that was some Blink 182 shit. Like,
Yes, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that is some Blink 182 shit.
and so like we were like, yeah, like bet, like let's run it, cause like it's like you said, it's a nice little skit, gets people
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, like what's going on? And
Oh, it
then
was clever as fuck, man.
man, it was so funny, like it was so cool, like cause at the end of the song, we did Out of My Head last on JBA's set, which is a song that I'm on with him.
Yeah.
And we did that at the very end, and then like right when it ended, like Panda came running up on the stage in this little security outfit and was like, oh, blah, blah, and like you see the whole bandmates like scatter and run, and like it was funny,
It's
dude. It
funny,
was
you
cool.
see I saw one video of the guitarist running by. He's got his guitar
Yeah,
running
you
by.
got
Yeah.
yeah, real, yep.
That shit was funny as fuck, man.
Man, yeah, dude. That was honestly like that was such a great idea. Like, yeah. So JBA, you were on one for that one, bro.
That's the
So
stuff,
good
man, I'm
job, good
telling
job, JBA. Good job, good job.
It's that shit right there that gets people talking, and your music alone will get them talking. But it's that extra little bit, that extra little spice.
That extra oomph, yeah.
For sure, dude. I'm digging it. I'm really into it, man.
So man, what I need to ask you a question. What inspired you to like kick up, your podcast and just decide to say like, you know what, fuck it, let me get up off my ass and do it. Like,
Man, I've told this to a few times, but basically, me and Jake, we've been doing media stuff our whole fucking lives, and got kind of bored of not doing anything. And I've known Jake a long time, and so we just like, fuck it, let's do it. And we were gonna start it like a few years ago with some homies, like the Wood Grain homies,
yeah.
and it just kind of fell through. And fuck it, we're here now, so why not do it now?
What happened to Wood Grain?
So
don't know if you want to get in
No, it's
detail.
totally cool,
I
totally cool.
didn't mean to flip the interview on you, but you know.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk about it because Rob's kind of he needs to come back around, so I'd love to talk about it. But fucking, me and Rob G started this company called Wood Grain back in the day, and he kind of got involved with drugs a little bit as we progressed this company, and his habit got a little too extensive, and started fucking over people, and started fucking over me, and started fucking over Jake, and
Just doing the homies wrong.
yeah, man. And so we started to distance ourselves from him, and he was really the driving force of Wood Grain. He actually owns the LLC to it, and so as we distance ourselves from him, we distance ourselves from the company, and so it just eventually fell apart, and nothing became of it, and now it's nothing. And we've tried to we've tried to reach out to him, and I get ghosted by the dude. He doesn't even want to fucking reply to me, but.
I'm sorry about that, man.
No, it's all good. Trust me, I want him to come back around, but this motherfucker just don't want to do it.
You know, it was kind of like I was saying a little bit ago, it was like just on different paths, you know, and
Yeah, it's kind of that thing. I mean, he had a kid and everything, and that really kind of changes people's lives. But it was drugs fucked people up, man.
I agree. I definitely agree. So say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. Even though I'm not necessarily the best advocate, because I do indulge a little bit in some
Yeah.
stuff, but don't take after me on that, okay? Like, you can look up to me for anything else, but don't look up to me for that. But, no, you're 100% right, man. Like, sometimes there's a difference between doing things recreationally and then it becoming a part of you rather
Yeah.
than, like...
That's the thing, too, is, like, it becomes your identity at a point, and then you're just known as, oh, well, he's just kind of fucked up, or...
Yeah, yeah.
He's not himself, sorry, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
start
then...
apologizing for other people, and
Mhm.
eventually you just got to distance yourself from the
Because
person.
then, eventually it starts to kind of like look bad on you,
Exactly,
you know? Like, I
yeah.
mean,
Just to say that, like, since I've started this podcast, I've been getting in touch with a lot of people from the past, and everyone has been asking me, "You seen Rob? He owes me money. You seen him?
oh shit.
He owes me money." Like every fucking person. So it's just fucking people over left and right, man. And I don't care. I'll put you on blast, dude.
But still come around though.
Yeah,
Still come around.
yeah.
Come around to face this,
That's what I'm saying, man.
face to face and talk
face it.
about it. No one
Face
wants to
it.
fight. We just want to talk. Like,
Straight up, man. Straight up.
nah, that's crazy.
It's all love, but at the end of the day, you got to distance yourself, and like you're saying, different paths. So I don't know.
Yeah, such is life, I guess, huh? Come around, bro. Just come around.
For real.
Hell yeah, man.
How long you been doing music though? I mean, like, 'cause you said you were in a band before that. How long were you doing it before that?
Shit, man. Like, sometimes I gotta remind myself how old I am and like how long I've been
Right,
doing
I
this
feel that
stuff.
way too.
Cause it, huh? Yeah, dude. That's funny as fuck.
How old are you?
I just turned 25, man.
Okay.
But when people ask, I try not to tell people my age, just because then there becomes an all of a sudden like mental cap on
Yeah,
you.
for sure. They
So,
put that
like,
stigma on you.
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
I mean, that happened a lot, especially when I was younger. Like, cause I don't know. I feel like I've always kind of been a little more like wise and like I don't know, in tune for like my age that I've always,
Mhm.
my ages that I've been. And so like, when I would tell someone that I'm like, this is obviously like 6 some odd years ago now, and I'd be like, I'm 19, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, so you're just a kid, like you don't get anything, da da da, and I'm like, damn, bro, like, what makes you think that like I don't know what 2 + 2 is just because like I'm 19, like not literally 2 + 2, but just like a quick example, but so I don't know. I try not to really share my age too much, even though like it's kind of fucking obvious because like in all of my @ handles it's Connor Gibbons 97,
Okay.
and so like 97 is like my birth year,
Put
and
yourself out there like that.
yeah, and so like if you can put some simple equation together, you can be like, oh okay, buddy's 25, but otherwise, yeah, man, I don't know, I don't like to.
How long you been doing the music though? Before the
Yeah,
before
but
the band?
fuck, man. Back to that. Back to the thinking. All right, so I am 25 now, and I've been doing it. Cause I've been playing the drums since I was like 11, 12. So
Since then.
10, yeah, like
Yeah.
10, 13 years or whatever, probably. But a lot of that wasn't just like me, like I said, I don't know how to write music, like I don't. So a lot of that was just me like coming up with drum patterns and like remembering all of them like in my head, and then taking it and like putting it somewhere, giving it to whoever needs where if someone's like, yo, let me drum. And I'm like, oh man, I had this sick like fill in the back of my mind for like 6 years now. Like I finally release it, like I finally get it out of my head.
I've got guitar riffs that I've been sitting on for fucking years, dude.
I believe it.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes you're like, well, I don't know what to do with this at the moment, and then it'd be that random time where it'd be like that guitar riff or that drum fill will just come in like super handy, like out of nowhere, and you're like, man, I'm so glad I did this like XYZ years ago. But yeah, man, I've been probably making music for the last like 10 to 13 years, but very seriously taking it like, because that was just like me drumming and stuff was like a hobby and like things like that, because I was always told from a kid that like music is unrealistic, like you're not gonna make it. It's not a good career path. You need to do this, that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest career path.
By no means, yeah. By no fucking means. Like, this shit is hard as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, everyone always told me, like, you can't. And so I was like, all right, well, then I guess I can't. And then, like, that's when I just, like, I didn't do much. And then that's when I got into a band with Dylan and then my boy Alec, who played the bass for us. And then that started going for a little while. We were in a band for like 3 years, man. And that was like my first like real like cool like actually recording music and actually like taking it like to a.
Did y'all gig around here?
Yeah, we gigged around Deep Elm a lot actually. I may mess her name up because like I said, Dory Brain, but I'm pretty confident this woman's name was Kim Polk, but I could be lying, but I'm pretty confident that was her name. Yeah, but I'm pretty confident that was her name, and she was one of the first people to like, because again, man, not in an egotistical way or anything of me being higher than anyone that I'm around, but like I was the one who like took the initiative and was like, all right, well, like we're gonna get booked, like, because if we're gonna do it, we're gonna fucking do it, like we're not just gonna talk about it, we're gonna fucking be about it. And so I started reaching out to her, or she reached out to me, and then we started going back and forth, and then started getting us like gigs in different places and things like that. And
so y'all were like a rock band?
Yeah, we made like a kind of like an indie kind of vibe, and at that time I didn't really have too much say on like the lyrics or anything like that. I kind of just let Dylan like do his thing, and I was just the drummer. Like, I was like, cool. I'm content. I'm the drummer.
You just play drums?
Yeah, that's all I did was I just played the drums. Or, yeah, like instrumentation-wise, like what can I play?
Generally, do you
Yeah, in general, like what I can confidently like tell you is I play the drums.
Yeah.
But I do have the God-given talent to pick up any instrument and play. Like
in key, kind of relative pitch?
Relative, yeah. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I can play you Beethoven, and like crank
Prince
out, like
here.
like I'm not no Prince or anything, but like I can definitely, like, if I'm pressing the keys and I'm like, oh, nope, that did not sound right. And then, I'll, like, move around and things like that. Same with, like,
build the puzzle.
Yeah, exactly, like, yeah, confidently, instrumentation I play is drums, like, where I can just be like, yeah, bro,
Dude,
play the drums.
I can't
like,
play drums to save my life. I've tried it many, many times. I can't, like, play the beat, but I can play on the beat.
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't be the beat, but I can ride it.
You can be with the beat. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just like too much pressure to fucking like sit there and keep that same rhythm or what, but I can't do it. That right brain, left brain shit, dude.
And you're right. It is a lot of whatchamacallit. Damn, the word totally slipped my mind. But like the drums, like the heartbeat of like the songs, man.
Yeah,
and so like if your drummer is like off, like everything's off, like it. And so yeah, honestly, drums is kind of like one of the most, I guess, like pressure built kind of like instruments. And like there's a lot of like misperception on like drums too, where like just because you can do like a with like double pace and like fucking go crazy on the toms, people think you're a good drummer. Like, no, like what makes you a good drummer is being able to like stay on the fucking beat.
Seriously.
Like the whole time. Like that's what makes you a good drummer. Like
good musician in general.
And that too. Yeah.
Like, you'd be surprised, man, just like the years of me doing music and stuff, how many people can't keep a rhythm.
but they could do some sick ass fucking like shred on a guitar or like some sick
They
ass
got some
drum
sick
fills or
licks,
like
fills, all that shit, but they can't play a fucking song in time with a band.
right.
That's a talent, man, and you got to sit there and really play with your band and get in time with each other and get comfortable with each other.
Facts.
Seems like your band's pretty comfortable with each other. I mean,
Yeah, man. I mean, like, shoot, like, well, when it comes down to like studio work, really the band's just me, Spinna.
so the live band you played with last weekend, is that not who you're playing with in your new shows, or?
For the JBA Battle of the Bands, so actually it's actually ironic is that the drummer who did perform with JBA is actually going to be like drumming for me now too, and
right
his
on.
name's Ethan Maples, so shout out to him, man. And then this other guy named Mikey, he was on the lead guitar, and Dylan played rhythm for that particular show for the Battle of the Bands that JBA was in. But yeah, for like all my new upcoming shows, like it'll be Ethan on the drums for me, and then Mikey's gonna be doing rhythm and sort of lead, and then my boy Jack. Jack's not famous on Instagram, or Jack Hayden is his real name, but Jack, he's another huge help with that shit too, because he's a musical genius within himself too. He actually played the bass for JBA, and he played the bass for me one time at it was like last year in like July when I had my first full band that was.
So where y'all rehearsing at? Because it sounds like you're building your songs in the studio, but do y'all ever get together and like actually practice and rehearse?
Yeah, so like when it's the full band, yes.
Yeah.
But like if it's just like me and Dylan, bro, like sometimes like we don't even make the set list till like a few hours before the show, and then we're like, all right, let's do it, and then we just go and crank it out.
That's tight.
Thanks, man. Which may sound really unprofessional, like to a degree, but like I don't know, it's just
There's
one of those
a lot
things.
of artists that do that. They'll catch the vibe of the venue, and then catch the vibe of the audience, and then make the set list. That's what Pearl Jam used to do back in the day.
I didn't even know that,
Yeah,
so you just
dude.
put me on.
Yeah, they would back when they were doing their shit like at Lollapalooza, they just kind of catch the vibe and be like, all right, 10 minutes before the show.
We're gonna do this song, and that song. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah, man, because like that's. But obviously, when you have a full band and not everybody is quite as like comfortable yet playing the songs, because Ethan would be a new drummer for me, and so he doesn't know all the songs quite yet, and like same with
he's
like
got to learn all
like
those
yeah,
tracks.
exactly, so there will be rehearsals for that, like obviously, and for right now we're just gonna be rehearsing at like my apartment because I have like a kit and like an electric drum set. And super simple for everyone just to bring their little amp, and we can all at least get in unison. And then like week before the show, I would like to be able to go and get like a studio room. Shout out Ryan Fairbanks from All I Hear Is Static. He's the one who actually has been helping like all of us be able to have a space to be able to like go and rehearse in and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be tapping in with him like the week of to get like the live drums feel and everything for him, for like Ethan especially, because really the guitars and stuff, it's if you're able to play and you're in sync with everybody and all that, I feel like it's like a little easier than like the drums having to go from an electric drum set to then an acoustic drum set, because it's a complete different like feel and vibe. Because obviously with the E-kit you have your already midied in sounds that already have your reverbs and like the tune and like
smaller heads.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the little kit right there.
I peeped that when I walked in. I was like, well, fortunately, I when I was just telling you, when I was at my low point, it was like, well, shout out Tate Money. If I'm sad, I'm gonna shop it out. And so like I splurged on like when I shouldn't have, but I'm glad that I did. But I splurged on like one of those really expensive like the Alesis like Strike Pros and stuff. So I have like it's a full entire like acoustic shelled kit, but with the E-heads.
That's dope.
So like it's like a full like whole thing. So at least there's a little more like realism to it in that aspect, because then there's because then you actually can get your like pressure sensor. So like obviously I'm hitting like this soft, like you're gonna get a soft snare, but if I'm like boom boom, you're gonna get a louder snare. Like
off of that, you just get
the one sound, no matter how you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess to that degree there's at least that sort of like realism to it, which actually on the Show Must Go On, all those drums that was on my E-kit, like it wasn't an acoustic kit.
That doesn't even sound like an E-kit. That's crazy, dude.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to, your engineering. And that goes back to Spinna. And he was able to help me learn how to hook up each individual drum into your interface, and then from there we recorded out like the drums to where it wasn't just one audio file of like all your
each drum.
exactly. So
Each
it's
symbol.
so it's kind of like as if you're micing up each like
For sure.
each tom or everything else, and we went from there and just like started recording all the drums on like the E-kit, and like it sounds like acoustic damn near, like
yeah, I think it sounds really good.
I mean, there's a few things that I would love to have been able to incorporate if I had like an acoustic kit, of course. Like like there's this like thing I love to do on the snare where like I'll hold the stick on the snare and then I'll actually hit the with my other stick I'll hit the stick that's on the snare, and it gives it this like weird like kind of like
a warble kind of.
Like it sounds like really cool. So there's like different things that I'd like to be able to do like with an acoustic kit, but in due time, like that'll come to where I'm in a studio space where like I can record an acoustic like drums and things like that. And so.
Anyway, right back to it.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
And once again, I just really do want to appreciate you for having me on here, bro.
Hey.
Like genuinely,
sure.
I really appreciate that shit and giving me the opportunity and like platform to just like, I don't know, share a little bit more about me and like things like that. Cause I don't know, not a lot of people write up about me or like want to get me into a situation like this where we can just, one-on-one chop it up and like share shit and shoot
like,
the shit,
Yeah, I think like most people who are genuinely into music like I am, they want to know the artist a little better. So things like this, you kind of get to know them on a personal level a little bit better. So, so I enjoy it, man. It's cool. Thanks for coming through.
No, man. Like, honestly, the pleasure's mine, man. So I really do appreciate you.
For
more than you know. So thank you for the opportunity, bro. Like, for real.
Anytime you want to come back, like, please do.
If you ever want to have me back, I'm there. Like,
if it's like a show you want to promote, album, something like that, come through, dude.
I would like love to be a part of this more, bro. So when at any point too, no matter how like, who knows? Maybe tomorrow I blow up, right? Like, if I'm on level of like Drake, like, just know like this is coming with, you know what I'm saying?
Right
like,
on.
it doesn't matter like how big or if whatever the fuck happens, like, this is now like stamped, concreted in my heart. So like, thank you.
This
like,
the first
genuinely.
show you've ever done like that? The first podcast?
I did one other podcast back in 2019, and it was fuck, man. It was Stop Scrolling podcast, and it was with I think it was Johnny B. the Shooter. Pretty confident. Yep, Johnny B. the Shooter. Yep. I don't even know why I even stuttered and like stumbled on that, but yeah, with Johnny B. the Shooter, man. He had did the Stop Scrolling podcast in like 2019, and in that point in my life, I was at a very like, I had that high head, like that, like, man, like, fuck everybody, like, I don't know why I'm not, getting the love that everyone else is when I was literally a part of all of it. Like, I just sound like a fucking ego trip, bro. Like, I was going through so many different things, like, mentally from 2019 to really like mid 2021, like, and yeah, man, I just had a lot of different things. So this is like, I guess, like the first true like podcast that I've been on where I can like confidently say I'm in like a better headspace and I don't feel like the world owes me shit, and like, just like all around
well, welcome
being
to the
able
world.
to, man, so like, thanks, bro, like, for real, like, it really does mean like the world to me. So like, thank you, like, genuinely,
you bet, dude.
bro,
Like I said, anytime for sure. I kind of wanted to, just to segue here, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your music, because you seem to be in that vein of pop punk, which is really popular right now. And thanks to people like Travis Barker pushing that new wave of this pop punk music and shit. But I was getting to the point of MGK, and why do you think he's getting so much hate over this shit? And he's making quality music.
Very quality.
But there's just so much hate behind it.
Like, I'll say that the latest album he did, the Mainstream Sellout one, like, I didn't like it.
I'm not a big fan of that one either.
Yeah, like, I didn't like it at all. But the Tickets to My Downfall, like, that one, like, bro, the music industry needed that shit.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it really needed it. But like, the mainstream sellout album, like, it kind of could have went without it, but like at the same time, I totally get why he did it. Like, I mean, like, because everyone like how you were just saying, everyone was giving him shit.
It's
and
in
like,
the title, mainstream sellout.
Exactly, like it's in the title, like it
Yeah.
tells you, like, you know, like, and the songs were all like mainstream, like like what would be a mainstream, like, you know, like
Exactly.
sellout type of vibe, which was marketing wise and the actual creative like genius behind the whole thing is actually incredible. But
Yeah.
like I just, you know, like I said, I just wasn't a fan of the music. But I think I mean, I really like, it's a very unpopular opinion now, but I really think MGK and Travis Barker really re-sparked the revival of like alt music. And like I kind of always sort of been making like that cross blend of like a little bit of rock with like experimental hip hop and things like that. And so
Okay.
like to be able to have someone on like a main platform, you know, like the engines behind them, like actually drop a complete alt project, I feel like it actually opened up a lot of doors for like artists like me and like your Poor Stacy's and your fucking your Ian Dior and like, you know, like all these other like
For sure, yeah.
alt kind of hip hop people, you know. And I really think it just opened the doors. And I don't fully understand the complete hate of like, you know, they'd be like, oh, the Eminem rap battle, and so Eminem made him switch his whole genre. Like, in my opinion, this is just my like perception of the situation. Is MGK reached his cap in rap, like, and like
Had
his
all he had
peak.
to say.
Like in the sense of, I mean, like, bro, think about it. Like, who the fuck else has drawn out Eminem in the last like XYZ years, other
Right.
than when M was like popping in his like, you know, in his prime, like with the early 2000s, like actually, you know, doing his thing.
Yeah.
Who's brought a legend in the game out of retirement?
But not only that, it was years after the fact.
Right.
Because the whole thing was he made a comment about his daughter, and that's why the whole beef started.
Okay.
About Haley, you know, and so that would happen like years prior to the whole recent thing they had. So he came out of retirement and brought up some old shit.
You see, I didn't even know that's what
Yeah.
like the full thing. Like,
Yeah.
because to me it is just like if I strictly was like in rap like MGK, right? Like, I mean, like, bro, you just brought out a legend to come like diss you, like. I mean, to me, it's like that's an achievement. Like, that's a goal. Like, what? Like, could you imagine? You know, if I like was making music or whatever, and then like fucking, I don't know, like Metallica or somebody, like, or like
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll just even make a older band, like a Motley Crue or somebody. You know, like came up out of nowhere, and we're like, man, Connor, da 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 da. You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be like, shit, like that's cool as fuck. Like, what? Like, I just made
Yeah,
them
dude.
come out of retirement, like, to come and like. Even though if they were talking shit or not, like what, like
I'd be celebrating.
yeah, like I'd be celebrating, like, and to me that'd be like the cap where I'm like, all right, cool,
I
like
made it.
like yeah, like, I, like for sure, like it's the job's done, like bet,
Yeah.
like well now let's see what else I can do in my creative bag, and like then he was like bet, like I'm gonna do the alternative, and then he met, you know, with Travis Barker, and then like Travis Barker's a fucking musical genius.
Anything he touches is gold.
It's gold.
Anything,
like,
dude. I mean, the stuff he does with Willow is dope, and all this stuff he does with fucking transplants back in the day.
man, and even like
I mean, fuck.
early 2000s when he was doing shit with Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Yeah, he did.
like,
Right.
you know, like, so he's always kind of been like, for some, I don't know why, but for some odd reason, Barker's been the only drummer to like really cross it, like, and cross that, like, which
He's got
they would call a
respect and-
boundary, like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
he's respecting in every field.
yeah.
Everyone wants to fuck with Travis Barker.
Exactly,
I mean, he's
dude.
dating a Kardashian now.
You're like, bro, like, like, man, like, to me, that's just like crazy, because it's like, I don't know, Barker just always been with the shits, honestly. Like you said, like, he was working in the hip hop realm, and then took his alt sound, then went to hip hop with it, and then took back to alt, and like, I don't know, he just does a little bit of everything, and so, I don't know, man. I'm proud of MGK. I think bro deserves every little bit of
I do
like
too, man. He's
flowers that he's getting right now, in all honesty, like, and I don't understand the full like slander behind it, so.
I don't either, man. He makes quality music. He's a dope lyricist if you listen to his lyrics.
If you really tune in, yeah.
Yeah.
If you really listen to the lyrics, he's really
and
going
he's been making
off,
quality
like,
music for years.
except for the jump, in all honesty, because
Yeah.
like, people forget he was a part of like the XXL freshmen, like back
That's
in
right.
like
Yeah, I did. I
think
forgot
like
about that.
early 2010s. Like I think it was 2012. I don't know. I don't want to say the exact year because I don't fully know off the top of my head, but like, yeah, I mean, he was a part of XXL. He was on MTV. Like, he was on like all sorts of shit when he was like doing the rap stuff, you know? Like, he had a lot of like major achievements that like people really tend to underlook.
And he did it all by himself too.
All on his own,
independent,
like,
dude. And the videos he made were all with his homies. You know, Mod's son made that sale video. That's fucking dope, man. Just keeping it all in with the homies
in
like
home,
that.
like, you know, like, which kind of reminds me of me to a degree too, like
Yeah,
keeping it
for
in
sure.
home, you know, like. And so I don't know. I think, like I said, I think bro deserves every bit of flowers that he's getting right now, and like the flowers that people want to give him at least, right? And then just all the success that has like come his way, I definitely feel like he's earned it and has like worked his ass off for it. And like I don't get like why people are just so quick to be like, man, fuck that guy. Like, I don't know.
I don't get it either, man. I think they see the pink and they're just like, what the fuck is this guy's
Yeah,
deal?
yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I don't know.
Whatever.
But yeah, exactly. Like you said, whatever.
It
Fuck him.
is what it is, man. He's out there fucking making mad money. He's the #1 artist out right now. I mean, he just had #1 in overseas.
Oh, damn.
That is fucking crazy.
That's huge.
To get a #1 in America and overseas at the same time. There's not a lot of people doing that, dude.
Not at all. Because usually one or the other. Unless you're, of course, you know, you're like a Justin Bieber or like a Drake or somebody that has like every engine behind them to make the car run. But
For sure. And that's what it takes to be at that level is you got a whole fucking team behind you.
Team and like, honestly, like stupid money.
Yeah.
Like stupid money.
Do you plan on signing a label? You gonna be independent? You got a long game here?
I've actually, like, few people have asked me that too. They're like, yo, bro, like, would you sign? And like, I would.
Yeah.
I would sign. Like, doesn't mean that I would like sign to fuck myself in like a 360 deal or something like that, you know? But like, even if it was a 360 deal, like, I would sign for XYZ projects. So if they only wanted like 2 projects from me, or like, just, you know, simple thing, like, you know, like they're not trying to take all of me away for like 10 years or something, you know, like I would totally do it and bite the bullet, only because like, yeah, like maybe I'm not getting as much like money and like, you know, I'm not seeing everything fully that like I should be getting, but to have the engines behind you to get you that bigger platform is worth the L for like a year or two or whatever, you know, a project or two, or ultimately it'd be great to just get a publishing deal rather than like, you know, an actual like sign. But
that way you keep the creative.
Yeah, you can kind of keep everything, you know, like
right, and they just kind of deal distribution.
Exactly, they just distribute it, put the marketing behind it, and like, of course, you know, you gotta bring them their money back, like through the music, etc. But back to the signing thing, to like a label, like, yeah, I would do it just so that way I could gain all of the knowledge, like from being in the positions, like being in the doors basically, and taking all that knowledge and my new platform via having the engines behind me to put the thousands of dollars behind a project for me to like get it seen globally, like by millions of people, and then
advertising
take that
ain't cheap.
Yeah, not at all, bro. Not at fucking all. And then to take that and then run with it afterwards and be independent, like, yeah, I would totally sign.
That's
like,
not a bad game plan, man. You see a lot of people do that. They'll do the 2-album deal, take the advance, and then pay off the residuals, and then they're off to the races with their own shit.
Right? And then they're back to, you know, owning 100% of their masters, or like, you know, maybe not if you after that deal, you know, then someone maybe like a Sony or like somebody wants to come in and steal you, but then by then you already have like learned so much and know your worth to where you won't do another like shitty deal, like, which I'm not promoting, hey, everyone sign for a shitty deal, like, you know, like obviously, but stay as independent as you can.
Yeah,
but
that's how I feel too.
Like as independent as you possibly can, but there's just, you know, there's always that certain degree where you're gonna need the engines behind you. Like, I really truthfully think the last person to like blow up in the industry independently was X, like XXXTentacion.
Yeah. And
then after he blew up and went big, then that's when he got like, you know, that $3 million deal, like right before, unfortunately, someone fucking took his life. But, you know, like, I don't think there's really any big mainstream people who are truly 100% doing it independently. Like, I just don't. Like, I could be totally wrong. Like, there could be people out there, but I've never heard of them.
Dude, it's rare.
It's like super rare, you know, like everybody has the engine behind them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I just don't see anything really wrong with having the engine behind you. Like,
I think you're kind of building up your engine right now, man. And I think you could keep independent as long as you wanted to.
Definitely the plan, but just, you know, like you said, if an opportunity did present itself, like, and it was the right opportunity, like, like, you know, I wouldn't ask for no, like, I need $1 million up front. Like, I think people are fucking ridiculous when they say that shit. And like, I'm not signing for anything under $1 million. Bro, like,
I'll
what?
take $50K, honestly.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, like, I'll take 50. I mean, like, even 30K can change your life, you know? Like, you know, people don't realize that, like, that money that they front you, like, you got to bring that back.
Exactly.
So, like,
then you start making money.
Because that's why they gave you the $1 million up front.
It's called an advance for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, people don't realize, like, that, like, when you get handed $1 million, like, what are you about to do with $1 million? How are you going to make that times 3? Like, and that's something that, like I feel like people don't ever think about is, like, the reality of the situation. Like, like, I'm going to actually owe this label $1 million in the end. And if, like, this album that I produce for them, like, doesn't go the way that it's supposed to and it flops, like,
shit,
bro, you're fucked. Like, you know, like, then, like, let's say the album only revenued in like $150K. That's another whole $850 that you gotta pull out your ass somehow and bring back to that label, you know? And so, I don't know, man. Like, to me, I'd rather get a smaller advance and confidently be able to be like, oh, I can make you that times 10. Like, you know? Like, and so, because I know I could. Like, if I had just even like 10,000, not even, if I had $5,000 right now, bro, I could flip that shit into like 20, 30K and like make it all go into the right places. But like, unfortunately, you know, don't have the luxury quite yet to do that. But I mean, like, yeah, so.
That's how it goes, man. It's hard out here for a pimp, right?
You ain't lying.
Oh shit. So where are you recording at nowadays? Is it all at your place, or are you going to a studio, or what's?
Yeah. So, I really record all of my music with Spinna at Sauce Factory.
Oh, okay, his place.
Yeah, like I'd say like 85%, if not 90% of my music, I'll record there, and then I'll do excuse me, and then I'll occasionally like record demos at the crib, like just pull up Logic, put in my interface, my mic, and do it. But over time, I've kind of like, I don't know, when I'm at the crib, I get lazy, bro. Like, because I'm at the crib, like, you know, I'm chilling, like, and so I don't know. I don't have the same like mind space that I'm in. Like when I'm in the studio, then I'm like, all right, bet. Like it's strictly like we're gonna focus on this shit.
Here to work.
Yeah, you know. But when you're at the crib, then you're like, you know, you can lay a few bars or whatever too. But then it's like, oh fuck, I gotta do these dishes. And then like, you know, then like you get up mid, and then like there's just a ton of other things that like will randomly pop. This is just me personally. I can't speak for everyone, you know. But like just me personally, like then I'll be like, oh shit, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta do this, and then or I'll look down and I'll be like, ah, damn, I gotta pay this bill. Like, you know, like there's just a million things that like I'll look around at the crib and be like, ah, fuck, and it makes me like not focus at all on like what I was like the initial intent to like record a fucking song, like, you know. Right,
and like we were saying, you know, earlier, music's so situational. So to try and come back at like after a 5-minute break, it's kind of hard.
It's not even the same, like, you know. But like I will say, like this is like. I like to also, like, when we're on the road and shit, I like to take, like, a setup with me, though. Like, you know, like, because, like, you never know when inspiration will come in.
For sure.
So, like, because at this point, then, you know, like I said, you're not at the crib. So, like, not too long ago, we went to Arkansas, and, bro, it was, like, a Project X type of shit, man. Like, that shit was crazy. Like, I didn't even expect it to turn out the way that it turned out. Like, that shit was wild, bro.
It was a big-ass party.
Bro, like, what's crazy is it wasn't even, like, the biggest party. It was just, like, me, some homeboys, and then, like three or four shorties had, like, pulled up. And, bro, we just, like, turned that bitch into Project X. Like, we just all, like, everybody knew how to have a good fucking time. Yeah. And then it was just, like, it made it feel like we were at, like, a party with, like, thousands of people.
That's cool.
But, that was, like, for example, in that one, like, I didn't sit and like record a song. I actually like would go into like a separate room real quick, and I recorded like a few lines, and I'd come out and party and then talk about what the fuck just happened, and then go back into the room.
Oh, that's a cool
and then
concept.
like do what happened. So like the whole song, I'm like literally like telling you exactly what the fuck happened that night.
That's
and
cool.
like, will it ever release? I don't know.
That's a cool way to go. That's a creative way to like build something though. That's cool.
Yeah, so like that's you know like you said, situational type of thing. Whereas like where I did actually didn't just sit down, knock out the song, and then go about like whatever and do whatever. That one I did just few lines. All right, you can go party again.
Yeah.
All right, few lines, and then like come back to the party real quick, and then like I don't know. So
Do you have a time of day where you find you're more inspired than others? For me, it seems like early morning hours, like 3 to 5.
I can see that.
Seem to be my peak, like brain clarity hours.
I feel like my brain clarity hours are like when the sun's down.
Right.
And like honestly, like nighttime is like my thing. Like, bro, I don't know, like I record almost all my music like at night. I don't think I've actually ever really made music during the day other than just like maybe like a jam out with like some people where I hop on the drum kit or whatever, and like a few other people that I'm with, they'll hop on their instruments and we'll just jam out or whatever. But I don't know, I feel like during the day I'm just like so fucking stressed. Like there's just like so many things
Just
I have
the
to
weight
like,
of the day.
yeah, like there's just like so many things that like I feel like I like have to do today. Like for example, like fucking work, like right, like so I'll work from 7:30 to 4, and after that I got like an hour or two to hurry up and like go to like say like my like say something's wrong with the crib. I gotta hurry up, dip to the leasing office and like get this before they close, and then I gotta like, or maybe I gotta go to the bank and then like
Right.
gotta do this and that, and then like finally when I'm able to just like sit and chill and like decompress myself for like a minute, it's usually like then the sun's down, and then once the sun's down, then it's like, all right, bet, like what are we doing tonight, like like where are we going, where are we like just what are we doing, what's the move, like, and then I'll be up again till like fuck man, like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then catch a 30-minute nap and go right back to work. Like
I got you.
That's like I don't know.
Where's that like sometimes I'll get like the craziest inspiration in like the weirdest times, or like at work or something. Where's like a weird time you caught like just a inspiration for a song or something, or like a lyric came to your head and you're like, oh, I'm using that.
Man, honestly,
Something
bro,
you can think of off the top of your head.
shit. The track "Start Over" that I had on my most like recent project. I was actually taking a shit, bro.
Yeah.
And like the beat had just like came on shuffle on my documents, and I was like, oh man. And then like all of a sudden I just had this like whole song in my head already. Like I should have wrote it, but like I didn't. I just like had it in my head, and then like 2 days later I went to the studio and like recorded that shit.
That's dope.
And,
So
like,
you find sometimes this happens to me sometimes when I play guitar, like call it what you want, but something will just kind of feed through you and a whole song will just come out of you. Does that ever happen to you?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You just you channel some kind of energy, and it like you're totally not present in mind, and it's just going through you.
yeah, just coming straight out.
Yeah, you're just like a vessel for it to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, actually, 100%. I have a few unreleased tracks where like I literally actually did just like one take Jake that hoe and just
Yeah.
like spit it and it was done. Like I felt like Juice WRLD after. I was like, oh man, I feel so cool. I was like, damn. I was like, Juice WRLD came and he gave me his powers for a little
Right,
bit,
right.
like But yeah, no, 100%, bro. Like definitely feel that like where it's just like random urge where it's like a whole song. It's just
It
like,
just floods out
just
of you.
out. Like yeah.
It's a trip when that happens. Were you a big Juice WRLD fan?
Bro, I fucking love Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
Like that's like one of my favorite artists, man. Like no cap. Like him, Justin Bieber, Post Malone. People always get stunned when I say Justin Bieber too.
I was about to say, that's
they'd be like,
kinda
what?
odd,
Yeah, like bro, honestly, the Biebs was my first artist that I like, other than like rock, other than a rock group. Biebs was the first artist, and actually was the first ever live concert that I've ever been to.
No shit.
Yeah, I could actually tell you the fucking date and everything because it was July 3rd, 2013, and it was on his Believe tour, and I went to the American Airlines Center out here in Dallas. And the only reason that I remember that date just so specifically is because I missed my whole entire little brother's gender reveal. Like, well, we didn't know it was gonna be my brother yet, right?
Right.
Like, we didn't know if it was gonna be boy or girl, and I missed the whole entire gender reveal to go to that concert, and it's like that's the only reason
Had
why
to go see
like
Bieber,
yeah, I
I'm
had to go see the
sorry.
Biebs. Like, I'm sorry, and like man, like watching that was like one of the key inspirations for me, honestly, because like I had watched so many videos of like him performing, and then like obviously like bands performing and like things like that, but then to like actually go and see it, like for the like my first ever concert, and like to like go
That's
and
a
like
big concert to go see.
dude,
for your
it was
first
huge,
one.
man. Like it was really big, and
He's
like
got a lot of production and stuff to his shows.
it was beautiful, bro. Like when I tell
bet.
you, like the lights were like lasers were going everywhere, and like
Mhm.
fucking live band behind him on top of like his normal like pop kind of beat, you know, like but with a live band with also the backing track of like the pop like
Right,
drums
right.
and stuff like that too. Like dude, it's just huge inspiration. Like so yeah, like Juice WRLD, Bieber, Post Malone, Poor Stacy, which Poor Stacy's kind of like a alt kind of artist. Travis Barker worked with them on some stuff,
Okay.
and his last album, it was I think it was The Breakfast Club was the name of the album. Like that came out in like end of 2020, I think, and like that album, like bro, that album saved my life, like for the time period that I was in. So shit, Poor Stacy. Damn, I'm trying to think. Metallica is a huge influence too. Blink-182, Avenged Sevenfold. Man, like there's a lot of people that I like kind of like tune in with, but not a lot at the same time. But like
Right.
my
Selective
biggest is
about it.
Juice WRLD though, for sure. Like there's so much fucking Juice WRLD like content out there that it's like ridiculous. Like
It's crazy, man. I mean, that guy was a freestyle phenom.
that
like,
guy was a beast, bro. Like
unstoppable. Just no one's touching that shit.
to this day, I don't think there'll ever be another artist quite like
I
him.
don't think so. And
Like,
it's just so like tragic the way that he died. Like
So
did you watch
unfortunate.
the documentary on it?
I did, bro.
With his girl talking about what happened and how he like screamed her name as he was dying. That was just sad.
That shit was so sad, man. Like, and the one thing that I will say about the documentary too was like I feel like they could have done a lot better a job of showing like the accomplishments and like the
Yeah, right.
achievements that he like did in like
yeah.
the span of like only like a year and a half, almost 2 years
They
of
didn't
being
really
in the
shed
game.
light on that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
If anything, they really just shined the light on how much of a like addict he was.
That's all it was. It
And-
just showed his drug use.
Yeah, it totally just showed all of his drug use, which I
Mhm.
mean, like, it's good to like acknowledge that type of thing to then like kind of like be able to see like, oh, this isn't my particular situation, but just like maybe somebody's, like, oh, like my friends are like, like they'll watch a Juice WRLD documentary and be like, oh man, like my friend is doing like this amount of da 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 per day, and then like
Yeah.
they're sympathizing with it on the TV, and they're like, oh man, like da 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 da, and then maybe hopefully that'll at least help other people kind of like look at their friends more and be like, yo, bro, like I'm not trying to be that guy. It's like you have a fucking problem, but like, bro, you got a problem,
Yeah,
like
it's hard
and,
to
like,
tell people.
It really is, because one of the biggest things I've learned too is like people don't want to be helped unless like they want help, like like
yeah, you ain't gonna help
like,
anybody that don't want it.
yeah, like like I could a classic saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make that bitch drink.
Absolutely.
So like hopefully like I said, hopefully it'll shine a light to like different people out here in the world that be like, damn, like Juice had a problem, and like my friend is kind of looking the same way right now, and I don't want to lose my friend, like so hopefully by the documentary like shining that side of him, hopefully it could help other people like to realize like how serious that type of thing is.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like they just should have done a lot better job all around of just listing his achievements.
For sure.
And like,
I think they did a good job on the Peep documentary. Did you see
yeah,
that one?
the people. I actually saw that in the theaters when it came out.
That was a good one, man.
That was a really good
That
documentary.
was real
like,
touching with his mom on there and everything, talking about him as a baby and stuff.
It was, yeah. Like you actually got to like know him.
Yeah, it was
more,
a much more personal
versus
documentary.
like, yeah, Peep did a bunch of Zans and like had a
Yeah.
bunch of videos of him doing Zans. Like
Right.
like I don't know. Like I feel like I wouldn't have learned jack shit about him. Like if that's all it was.
That was another sad story too, man. How he was kind of left on the bus. No one even knew. He was just there for hours, just out.
And like that kind of like correlates to what I was just saying about the Juice doc too, with like, I mean, like you see that your friends are like taking this, that, like, and like you would think there would have been a little more like care, but when all of your whole group is
Yeah.
doing like XYZ amount of pills or
Peer pressure.
this and that, and like everybody around you is doing like almost the same amount as like you are, like no one's even thinking twice about like, oh yeah, buddy could be OD'd on the couch.
Yeah.
Like they really all they probably thought was like, oh, classic buddy, you know, he's fucking barred out, you know. Yeah, he'll wake up in an hour, and then like, you know, and that's what led to it. That video that surfaced, I think it was what was it? Bexy, I think was it? The guy with the green hair, I think is his name. But he had that video of like, oh, Peep, da da da, and then like Peep's just like blue as fuck, like on the bus, like, you know, and then that's when he was like, oh shit, like wait, like, and then he immediately cut off the live, like he was like, this isn't right, like, you know. So I don't know, I just feel like, you know, it's all about who you surround yourself with too, like, because like I said, if you're around a bunch of people who are doing the same amount of shit as you are every single day, like no one sees it as a problem and no one sees it as like a life-threatening situation until the person that you're with ends up unfortunately like ODing or something, you know, and then all of a sudden it's a fuck Zans and fuck this, check up on your friends. Well, it's like, bro, like you didn't even give a rat's ass like 2 hours ago until you found out he was, you know, like
seriously. And
so I don't know. Yeah.
It's drugs have fucked up a lot of shit, man.
I really have.
I mean, that's what, like I was telling you earlier with wood grain, that's what happened with that. So it just ruins things, man, and people let it get in the way of the come up, I think. The
come up, and you know, and even in an aspect of you know, we'll say come up as a broad term, not even a come up as like an artist or anything, because like, you know, I guess everybody's kind of on the come up, right? Like as like yeah, just in life, you know, like let's say you, just for example, like say you work at McDonald's, you're a cashier, and then you're on the come up, now you're a store manager and you own your own store, like, you know, like, and so yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. Like sometimes it just gets in the way of like the come up of like people, because it's like I said earlier too, it becomes from a recreational like here and there type of use to it's now a part of me and I am this, like, you know, identity. And like I don't know, man, it's a sad world out here, bro. And then, you know, it doesn't help any either that like plugs in the sense of like, you know, your dealers or whatever, you know, if somebody is like coming to you like to get like XYZ amount like almost every single day, like don't you as like, you know, just as a person to person, like wouldn't you just be like, yo bro, I know like I'm your plug and I'm supposed to be the guy that, you know, gives you this shit. Those but people
are heartless, man.
Exactly, it's all about like just like that street money, bro, which I mean, you know, it's unfortunate that like money is what like really like, I mean, people will change on you real quick for some money, bro.
No
like
doubt.
Like real quick, and like it's just like the human decency just kind of gets thrown out the fucking window, and it's like, okay, like yeah, you did just take 12 fucking perks yesterday, but I'll gladly sell you 15 more today. Like, you know, instead of being like, bro, like didn't you just come to me yesterday for 12 and you mean to tell me like all those are gone?
Yeah,
like, you know, instead of just being like a little more like humanable about it and like just being like, yo, bro, like I'm not gonna sell to you anymore right now. Like I'll sell you next week, but I'm not gonna sell to you right now. Like
shit, you run that risk of somebody getting mad and fucking
and just running up on your shit too.
Yeah,
right, which sucks too, because then they're like withdrawing from whatever it is, and they're like, man, fuck you, bro, I needed that shit. Like, why'd you sell it to me in the first place if you weren't gonna sell it to me again? Like, you know, like, and then it becomes this whole entire like just fucking cycle and loop, and then, you know, sometimes unfortunately, like we said, it just takes over the person. Sometimes they end up not here with us anymore, or sometimes it like how your situation is, you know, we end up on different paths, and like, I wish you the fucking best, bro, but I can't keep surrounding myself around this.
And that's all it is that you just don't want to be surrounded by that, and you realize they're going somewhere else and you're going another way, and
exactly, man.
Sometimes
you
just got to make that cut.
Absolutely.
I meant to ask you earlier, when we were talking about your clothes, who's doing your clothing for you? Who are you going to a print shop, or are you doing that all? Or?
I make it all in home.
You got a screen printer?
I do vinyl. So it's
what's that process?
So in clothing, there's multiple different ways to do your graphics. Some are obviously a lot more beneficial than others. So there's DTG, which is direct to garment, which is essentially a giant printer, and instead of paper, you put a shirt, and you put a shirt in the machine, and it prints the exact design like on it, you know.
Yeah. Which
ultimately is like kind of like the best way, because you don't lose like
super expensive though.
Yeah. Oh, it's expensive as fuck per shirt, man. Like, you know, then the profit margin's like it's ass. But it's the most effective way, because you get every grain of like detail in that bitch basically. And then there's screen printing, which is you know, where you take your image and you break it down into sections and parts, you know, so like
your colorways.
yeah, exactly. And then like, you know, your different stencils per each thing, and then you take the paint and call it a day, which is actually the most cost-effective way to make clothes is screen printing. Yeah. And then there's
That's
vinyl.
What we used to do is just
screen printing.
Yeah.
Did you do it yourself or?
Yeah, we had Rob he had like a 5.
Oh, one of them 5 spins?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's badass. That's like one of them industrial type of things.
I don't know what happened to the screens, man. He's probably got them in the fucking garage or something.
And those screens aren't cheap. Like,
No.
they're not
He
cheap.
actually worked at a printing company and so he had to hook up on all that shit.
That's tight.
Makes it easy.
No, for sure. It's like having the engines behind you.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And so like vinyl is it's like more like a paper. It's called HTV, heat transfer vinyl. So then when you apply your heat press to it, it sticks to the garment and like kind of forges to it, you know?
Oh, okay. Kind of like an iron-on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
like an
right
iron-on, exactly like that. And what you do is I have a little cutting machine. There's tons of different ones. I just have like an entry-level ass one, which is a Cricut, or some people may have a Cameo, which is also one of the like entry-level machines. And you load up your design, which it has to be very like more like simplistic rather than like how DTG like we could capture that whole Jimi Hendrix like image on a DTG shirt, you know. But like something with vinyl, I would need something more like this liquid death type of, you know, like this
with
type of,
harder lines.
Like the logo, like, you know, like something like this, like the harder lines and stuff like that, where it's more of like the shape, and then you cut that out, and then you gotta, after you cut it, you gotta take this like dental pick and you like piece out every little piece that you don't need, and they call it weeding. Yeah. And so like, for example, just like this, if I did this, I would have to go individually and pick out each like little thing, and so like that's what I end up doing is that. And then if I want it to be like multi-layered colored, like where's that hoodie? I can actually show you real quick. Like so what I'll do is like for example, like the hearts, right? Like it's the two-tone, so I'll cut the image twice, and then I'll on the silver I'll weed out this, and then on the red I'll weed out the silver.
I'm tripping out that you lay all those on there yourself.
Yeah, and then exactly, then you just lay it, and
that's
it's layers.
That's wild, dude. So you're hand making everything.
Everything, bro. Like every piece. And
that's
like
a trip, dude. I mean, you're doing a lot, man. You got your hands in everything.
Man, like I try to get my like.
I'm telling you, your work ethic is gonna take you a long way.
Thanks, man.
Because not a lot of people are at home on their fucking downtime, fucking
cranking out,
yeah,
like
saying,
you know,
dude.
like
they're not doing that. They're at home watching Netflix
and chilling, and like you know, like that. And like, you know, back to the recording thing too. When you're asking me if I record like at the crib and stuff, like there's so many other things that I have to like do and make at the crib, like clothes, for example. And then like I'm making other people's clothes for them too. So then,
you
like,
do other people's shit too?
Yeah. So like,
dude, you got an eye for the clothing. I'm telling you.
Thanks, man. Like,
obviously, your people are coming to you saying, "Do my shit."
Yeah.
Right.
True. And yeah, man. And so like, I do it all at hand at the crib, bro. And then like I do my own photography too, so I take all my own photos.
No shit.
And then he's been helping me. I finally have like a fucking. I'm telling you, Panda is like my like, now is like my fucking passenger driver, bro. Like,
you need that guy, man.
Like, and so you know he's been helping me with like taking photos for like myself, and like almost every photo on my Instagram starting from. Actually, like damn near every single photo from like because I deleted social media for like a year, so like all the way from my first post back, which was my birthday last year, basically all the way up, and other than a few other photos like of like some performances and stuff, he's taken pictures for me, like, and I've had no one to ever do that like for me. I've always just done it for everybody fucking else, and like whenever you do ask like, hey, can I get some pictures of in this outfit real quick? Shit looks like a hamster took it, you know, like
they're not trying.
Yeah, like I feel like my little brother could have taken a better picture of me than like like half the people. And yeah, man. So I just always just took matters in my own hands, like always. And the photography thing is actually like what helped me get through a lot of doors in the beginning too. Is I did photography with Dallas Entertainment for a little while, and then it just became like bad business over time. But I don't want to get too in detail on that, just because like I don't want nothing to come back and bite me in the ass. But I was doing photography for Gucci Man, Sonny Digital, Ziza Gibson,
sweet.
Lil Yachty,
Nice.
Travis Scott, all sorts of people I was taking photos for, man. And then I started to become known as the Dallas photographer, and like that's not what the fuck I wanted to be known as. Like I wanted to be known for my music, and
You're
like,
more than that.
yeah, exactly. You know, I
Yeah.
wanted to be known for like making an impact on the world, you know, rather than just like, oh yeah, buddy takes some really cool pictures, like, you know.
Mhm.
And but yeah, so then from there I just started not really promoting that I do photography, just that way like it wasn't like, but you know, if someone needs pictures done or whatever, shit, I'll get it right, like I'll get you right, like, you know. But yeah, so I just kind of like try to dipple and dapple into everything that I can, like creatively, that like I know I could do, like like obviously I'm not gonna try to do something that I couldn't do just because like I know it's outside of my like capability and reach. Like would it mean that I'm not gonna just like not try at all? No, I'm gonna try, but then once I try, then it's like, okay, like I realize
nowadays
I'm not.
all you really gotta do is try, dude.
At
Because
least
there's not a lot of people trying.
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
So like if you at least try and put forth a little effort, I don't know, who knows what could happen, you know. So.
You gotta be in the game to fucking win it, right?
Facts. And man, it's back to the clothes real quick, bro. I remember when I first got all the like machinery and gear that I needed to like make the clothes myself.
That's an investment itself, dude.
It really was. And like I used to outsource for it all, like through people. Like I said earlier in the interview, I shouted out David because he's the one who helped me make my first round of clothes. And then also shout out to Sherrod. His brand is 3 Rets. Big shout out to him because he made my clothes for an X amount of time too. And then I just like, you know, I like really sat there and thought about it, and I was like, man, the amount of money that I'm spending to get these made, like, is the same amount of money it took to get this shit myself.
Right. That's the thing we ran into with wood grain, is it wasn't cost effective, so we had to buy our own prints.
Yeah, because then
just do it yourself.
Then it just becomes way more like cost efficient.
Then you're
like,
just
efficient,
buying
you know?
paint and shirts.
Right. And then like over time, like the machine's gonna pay itself off.
Exactly.
Like, and mine definitely has, like, you know. And I remember the first day that shit came in, bro, because I was actually flying out to LA for a show. I forgot who I was opening up for out there, but I went out there for a show, and I was like, man, I really hope this like the clothing stuff comes in, because I want to like go out there like laced with like all new stuff, and like everybody that I'm bringing with me, I want them to all be laced in my stuff.
You gotta look the part.
Yeah, man, you know.
Yeah.
And then like, dude, the machine came in the day before I went to LA, and like I literally stayed up. Like everybody that was there can like testify. It was fucking Spino was there, Barry was there, Stanfield, fucking my ex at the time. Damn, man. Basically everybody like in the team was there. Like, did I say Stanfield was there? I think I already did say that, but Stanfield was there. Everybody in gang was there, damn near, and I want everyone laced up. So I literally stayed up. Like, I watched one YouTube video, back to YouTube Academy.
Yeah.
Watched one YouTube video on how to do it, and I stayed up like the whole time. Like I didn't like sleep, but like 15 minutes before the flight, and then like got on the flight and slept on the plane. But I made sure that everybody had gear made for the whole week we were there.
That's what I'm talking about,
like,
man.
You know?
That grind, that work ethic, that's what's gonna make you succeed, dude.
I appreciate you, man. Like, for real.
Because no one's doing that shit, dude. I don't think you're grasping it. Like you don't. I don't think you realize how much you got your hands in here.
I really don't.
I don't think you do. I'm
really
trying to tell you,
bro.
like,
Yeah,
you
like,
got your hands wrapped in a lot of shit here, and there's a lot of, and it kind of seems like you're struggling to balance your time in each one.
Bro, I am. Like,
I can see it. The way you're talking about it, it seems like you don't know which. Well, not that you don't know which one to focus on. You don't have the time to focus on
just one.
Right.
Yeah, like, you
and
know.
they're both at that point, or they're all at that point where they're kind of at that tipping point of you got to pick one.
Exactly, bro. And it's like, and it's so hard, and that kind of loops us back into like that conversation you asked me earlier about time. Like, you know, like, it's so hard to time manage because, like, bro, I literally am like doing way too much at once. Like, I'd be telling Panda all the time, I'm like, bro, like, I'm doing way too fucking much right now. Like, and then I'll just start getting like stressed out and like kind of like irritable.
That's
and,
how we
like,
all feel, man. You're not alone.
Man,
You're
know,
not alone.
And so it's just like, fuck, like, but yeah. I really appreciate that though, man. Like, and like the like acknowledgement of like telling me like, hey man, you really are doing like a fuck ton of things. Like,
I'm telling you, dude,
I really appreciate that.
I like to see people on their grind and like really ambitious, like really going for it, dude. And that's what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Like, and man, yeah, because some people like they'll ask me like, bro, how do you like manage, like, you know, like how do you like keep up with like
yeah,
all
where do you
this
get all the
stuff?
energy
like, yeah,
for
like,
it?
and like really like I wish I had like a solid ass answer to be like, oh, this is where my energy is. But like actually, you know, maybe I do. It's really, I think it's all the self, like not self doubt, the outside like doubt and like, I guess you could say hate, but I don't know. I don't like to really quite say hate, but just like the like, I don't know, like the non-belief that like all this shit can be possible. Like, you know, like even like my own family, like, you know, like none of them like really support anything that I do. And as of like until like recent, like as of just like last year type thing, like my mom finally like is like, wow, like your music's actually good. And like, you know, like
Get some recognition.
and you know, and like, I mean, even as far as like my little sisters, like I remember I made this piece that I actually sold for $200, and like I didn't ever expect to sell a piece for $200. And I remember I was showing my sister and she was like, it looks like shit. And I was
Really?
like, damn, bro, like thanks for nothing. Like, you know, like damn.
It's always the ones that
And
are
then-
closest to you, man.
Yeah, bro, like,
And
you
it's
know.
not, it's not entirely their fault. It might be something
Right,
that
something
they're
that they're
projecting
going through.
onto
Yeah,
you.
exactly. You know, like their
Yeah.
own projection, they're going through their own things. And so
Exactly.
I try not to ever take it too to heart, but like I'm an emotional ass motherfucker, bro. Like I think the music speaks for that, you know?
For sure.
And like I'm just emotional as shit. And like sometimes like certain words I'll just try to brush that shit off and be like, oh yeah, haha, like, yep. And then like, but inside, bro, that shit ate me the fuck up.
For
like
sure.
inside I'm like, damn, like I'm worthless. Like, you know, like
you're an artist, man. Artists are sensitive.
is hell, bro.
all it is.
And but yeah, man. So really, I think the drive is just like really within myself. Like, truthfully, is just like I need to prove everybody wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also like not only just proving everybody wrong, but I want to prove myself right. Like, you know, like
For sure.
because like I don't know.
This is what we've been doing, man. This is what we want to do.
Cool, thanks, bro. Thank you for that reassurance, like for real, because I was like, damn. Yeah, cool.
So tell
man.
me about like what's upcoming. I know we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but what's the next thing you're gonna work on?
Yeah, so actually, man, like in this chapter of The Show Must Go On, right? I want to do a 3-part project. So like The Show Must Go On is just like the beginning. And that set of songs is they're very important to me, and just a little quick background on like what The Show Must Go On like background really is
Yeah.
like I always say this right before I perform, like to let them know. I'll be like, life hits like a bitch, but the show must go on. And so like that's
I
kind of
like that. Yeah.
yeah, you know. And so that's kind of like what all these songs are, is a lot of like more of like a heartbreak and different I don't know things in my mind. And the follow-up project will be the Tour of Emotions, which I was briefly telling you a little bit about, which is going to be like a roller coaster of just like different emotions, bro, like, you know. And on this next body I feel like I've been like super vulnerable in different areas that I've never really been like too vulnerable on, like
Right.
in the lyrics. And
In the sense of your personal life, or in the sense of your music, what?
yeah, like since like personal and just like internal, like real feelings, like, you
Okay.
know, like I mean obviously the old music is still real feelings, yes,
Right.
but like this one I just get like I think like I'll show you some, bro. I want to show
Yeah,
you what
man,
I have.
I'm interested.
I want to show you what I have. And I actually want it to be like a compilation like type of thing where when I drop the Tour of Emotions, I want to put all of the Show Must Go On songs like right underneath it, to where like when you listen from the start of the Tour of Emotions, like it literally takes you through a whole like story type of ordeal, and then it loops, like goes right into the Show Must Go On, and then it's just gonna pick right back up from the top of the Tour of
Yeah.
Emotions. Like, so it's a
That's
perfect,
cool.
like a nice loop, you know?
Yeah.
And then I want to do that for the third body too, because I want it to be a trilogy, and I don't quite have a name for it 100%. But I've been like debating on a few, and I kind of want to go with like the encore. Like I
Okay.
kind of want to name it like encore or something like that, you know, like the 'cause-
Keep with the show vibe.
yeah, keep with the show vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And then I want to do the same thing with that one, where it'll be a new set of songs, then it'll go into the tour of emotions, and then it'll
That's
go into
cool,
the show
man.
must go on.
I like that.
Like,
How it all links
loop.
together.
Yeah,
like that.
you know.
A lot of artists nowadays, they do where their music videos all link together.
Yeah.
I think that's cool as hell,
Dude,
man.
I really want to, like, so badly. I like so badly want to shoot like a short film. Like, I wanted to shoot a short film for the show must go on, but like, no one like believes in like the vision fully of like la-di-da-di-da.
I
you
got
know?
your media guy
And, like,
for you right here.
Hey, as long as, you know, like, we can work out something, because everyone be wanting an arm and a fucking leg for like to damn get a video done, you know, like get shit shaking. So like no one ever just wants to like work with like.
So you want to do like a story or like a movie? What do you have in mind?
Like dude, I would love to do like a whole like little like film, like you know, like where it just like takes you through like, okay, so I was chopping it up with this videographer not too long ago, and you know, just unfortunately he's got like too much going on in his life right now to where like he can't just like buckle down and like work, which is fine. Like, you know, everyone's got their own things going on, but we had this really cool like short film idea for 3 of the songs on the project, which is On My Way and Fade Away. And no, it was Time. It was Time, actually. It was Time.
I like that one. I just want to say that Time's a cool one, man.
Thank you, bro.
I like that one.
And then Fade Away. Yeah, it was. I think it was those 3. And essentially, the On My Way one was gonna be me in this kind of like Tron type of like scene, where like, cause like On My Way, the way that it feels to me is very just like Tron-y. Like I feel like I should be like in a video game, like coasting on a motorcycle. And so like I wanted to have a very like futuristic like type of like ordeal going on, right? Where like the world's in a whole different like space and everything's kind of like how you, I guess, with normal vision of like what the future would look like with, like, you know, your floating cars and your like super neon-y all buildings and shit, right? You know. And then at the end of that video, because like that song is I'm on my way, so I'm like on my way to like go see this girl, right? And so then at the end of that one, I wanted to like walk into this door, and then like that's when Time will kick on, and then I just walked into this like Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where like there's a bunch of like past memories going on, and like wanting to like, you know, like all the different time of just like experiences and traumas and shit that like, you know, I've gone through, and I want to like showcase them, you know, and then loop it back to where I'm like turning back the hands of time to like get back like this person in my life and things, right? And then because I did go back in time and like altered what would be like, you know, our present. I come back at the end of that song, walk through the doorway with the person, and then Fade Away would come on. And at this point,
you got it all planned out, man.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, we really had a nice little storyboard put together. And then at the end of Fade Away, or not the end, but going into Fade Away, that's when I walked out of the door, out of the Twilight Zone. And then like the futuristic city that was all there in the beginning for On My Way is now completely like, it's like the buildings are on fire, chaos is happening, like fucking like aliens and shit have invaded, like, you know, like just the world has broke loose because like I went back and like tampered with something that I wasn't supposed to tamper with, which would then equivalent for the end of the song, and all in the end it all fades away. And so then like I got to go back and send her through the Twilight Zone, you know. And I really wanted to, I really wanted to get that shit out, and like now it's like I said, like it's kind of back on the fucking back burner like most of the things. And so I just don't want too much time to go by to where it just becomes moot and like irrelevant to even like do it, because like now the project hype is down and like gone, you know. And I'm really hoping to, in the next few weeks, lock in with my boy Zero and his brother Omega, the twins, man. They're fucking super fire. And I'm hoping to be able to lock in with them here and get this Forever video going, which is the song with me and Panda, because I'm really pushing for that to be like song of the summer this year.
Yeah, it's got a good summer vibe to it.
It really does. Like I could like picture like millions of people like coasting along the beach, like bumping that hoe, or just like
Miami
you know,
Beach song.
Yeah, right. Like just on a hike, like you know, like what? Yeah,
exactly.
Like, you know, like get it moving, like catch a vibe. So yeah, I'm really hoping to be able to crank out that like in the next few months to be able to like get that dropped for like a June release, hopefully.
For sure.
So like, you know, I'm hoping to get that going. And yeah, man. And then so from there, after the videos, then I would like to potentially drop a single to the Tour of Emotions, and then get that ball rolling, and then start off 2023 like with a whole new project, like, you know, and
Hell yeah.
and then kick off 2023 with all of that. And then who knows, because by the time, shit, I might even change the date that I even drop it, like, because for all I know, like, one of these videos could blow up, or one of these songs could go up even more,
Yeah,
and then
right.
like we were talking about
Changes
earlier,
the whole thing.
Yeah, and I could have like Travis Barker in my DMs talking about, yo, bro, we need to get in the studio, and then now the whole project is completely like, you know, rechanged because of like whatever situations that I could potentially find myself in, you know. So
I'm impressed with the creativity and the ability to change direction. You know what I'm saying? Like any like you're just saying right there. Well, anything could happen. Now I got to change it all up.
yeah.
Not a lot of people know what to do in those moments. But you're just like, oh, I'll just do this. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man. Yeah. Like,
So
just,
there's always that drive behind you, and that's gonna take you a long way, dude.
man, thank you, brother. Like for real.
I know I
Big
keep
thank
repeating
you.
myself, but I'm genuinely impressed by you, dude, as an artist, and like I genuinely think you're gonna go somewhere.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Like, and vice versa to you too. Like, completely vice versa.
I'm not really in the music scene anymore, but I'll
It's not
hop
even
on
just the
tracks.
music though, you
but-
know. It's not even just the music. It's like everything, bro. From
Right.
this podcast to like just like your background of everything that like, you know, you have dabbled your hands into.
For
and,
sure, yeah.
like, I mean, like, you know, you've learned so much, like
It's
good
all a learning
experiences or
experience.
bad, you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you've taken all the knowledge that you've, you know, learned over these years, and you're applying it right now. Like even to like
For
as we
sure.
speak, like, you know, like shit. As an interviewer, I mean, takes like a lot of like courage and like I guess like knowing like what, like, because I wouldn't even know what to like ask somebody, bro. Like if this
Dude,
situation were
yeah.
flipped, like,
Oh, you
and
see
I
my-
sat you in this chair,
This
I
is
wouldn't
what
even
I've-
know. Like I
This
just
is
be
what
like,
I've been doing all day.
when were you
I
born?
literally got shit to Connor Gibbons up here, and I got all these fucking questions. We hit all of them, all by the way.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's what it takes, dude. And like I feel like my girl was asking me, she's like, "You nervous for tomorrow for Connor?" I was like, "I'm not nervous. I'm not to the point where I'm nervous anymore. It's I don't feel like I'm prepared.
I feel that, like the readiness.
I don't have the nervousness anymore. Like, of course, my heart will get beaten a little bit, you know, but
Right, because you never know how it's gonna go.
dude,
Like,
you get
yeah.
a little anxious, whatever. But I was telling Jake right before when we were going down the elevator to get you, I was like, man, my heart always starts racing like the first like 5 minutes, and then we start
Same.
get kind of calm, and we get a rhythm, and then it everything kind of mellows out.
It's kind of like that, maybe we can label it social anxiety, but I wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, like, because it's just like one of those things where it's like oh fuck, like, because dude, I'm the same way, like, bro, like we'll pull up, me and Panda will pull up somewhere, and I'll like sit in the car for a second. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to go in anymore. Like, just like all of a sudden, like my anxiety is just
Yeah.
like through the fucking roof, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to. Like,
And as an artist, you can't be like that.
you can't. And so that's when I gotta just like slap myself and be like, all right, bro, like, come on, like, we're
Yeah.
walking in this building, we're stepping on necks, like,
Because
you
you're
know?
a persona to somebody, and if you're not living up that persona, you're nobody.
Facts. And like, I'm so glad you brought that persona shit, bro, because like, that's why I've always tried to just stay as true to myself like as possible, and never try to put on a facade for anybody or anyone. Like, that's why I've never like.
I always say you ain't got to lie to kick it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You ain't got a lot to kick it. Like,
Right.
just like, if as long as you are you and you are just like yourself, like, you are cool in my book. If you ask me, like, I don't care what you do. Like, as long as you are being yourself. And
Yeah,
like,
just be you, man.
and you're not trying to like perceive or portray yourself as something that you aren't. Like, nothing irritates me more, bro, than like seeing like some of these people that I grew up with, even too, and like not even people I grew up with, just people in general that like will start making music, right? And like they'll be rapping, and they'll just be talking about fucking like toting guns, and you came up from the slums, and you came from nothing, and this, that, and I'm like, bro, like, you've been in Allen, Texas your whole life. What the fuck you mean you came from the slums? Like,
Right, you're
I'm
from
from
the suburbs.
Detroit, like, and I don't even be talking about that shit.
So you're not
you
from
know?
around here?
Hell no, bro. I'm
didn't
actually
even know
I'm
that.
from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh shit! So when did you move to Texas?
I came here when I was like 13, like 12 or 13. So like I'll say that like I grew up in Dallas in the sense of like all like adult like growing up experiences, because like obviously, you know, I never had my first drink in Michigan. I had my first drink here, like, you know, like things like that. I fucking went to jail here. I've like all sorts of things I like have done here growing up that I I can't say I've done in Michigan. So like, but my childhood was in Michigan. Like that's where like, from being born there all the way to like 13, and then.
It's fucking cold, right?
Oh, dude, cold as shit, man. Like cold as shit. Like, but I will say they actually be prepared though. Unlike here, like it snows or ices up a little bit here, and they're throwing sand on the fucking roads. Like what? You need salts. You need to melt the ice, bro. Like what you mean? Like
they're just making a mixture.
Yeah,
of
they're just
shit.
making it worse. So. Yeah, definitely cold as shit up there, bro. But yeah, man, like I'm actually from like the projects, bro. Like I'm like from like the heart, like I'm like from the ghetto, bro. Like and like I don't make that like like a thing. Like I don't even like like how I just was saying, like people put on this persona and like this like facade, bro. Like I'm from that, and I don't even rep that shit. Like, isn't the whole point to like get out of that, bro?
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I was about to say. Is like most people that are really from that don't want to rep.
Don't want to be in there and rep that. Like they want to get out.
Exactly.
Like, and then like, as soon as you do get out, then everyone hates you. And like, oh, like fuck.
You done
bro,
made
you
it out the
changed
hood.
Up. Yeah, like you made it out the hood. Like you switched up. Like, bro, no. Like
of course
what?
I changed, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I don't know, bro. But yeah, I'm so glad you brought that persona thing, bro. Because like people just can never just be them fucking selves, bro. And I just never can grasp like why, other than like just I don't know. I guess maybe you're just not comfortable in your own skin and you want to pretend to be someone else. I don't know.
That's what it is. And they're not comfortable with projecting it on you. And I'm sure you probably get some hate for your fucking nail polish and shit every now and then, right?
Bro, people think I'm gay. People think all sorts of shit, but think what you want. I know who I am.
Exactly.
Fuck
them, man.
And before that, me saying I'm not gay backfires, and people try to flip my words and cancel me on some. Oh, he's not for the blah blah. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're gay, straight, bi. I don't care if you're what the fuck, trans. I do not care what you are. You are being yourself, and I'm proud of you. And like, I support it all. I support it all, bro. Yeah, disclaimer. I support it all. Like, as long as like personally, you're not in my space trying to like touch me or do some weird thing to me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, do you, boo? Like, you? Like, like.
Did you have a crazy first show experience? People usually have a fucked up or a good one. How did it go?
Like my first ever show?
Yeah. How was your first show?
Okay, first show as a solo artist or first show as a band?
Just in general. First time you got on stage, what was that like?
Man, first time I ever got on stage was like so like adrenaline filled and just so like anxious and like so like okay, like I don't know, I was just like everywhere, bro. I just like felt so like just like fuck. And the first show I did was actually with my band, and I was the drummer. And like we rehearsed, we practiced for like weeks, bro.
Yeah.
And like and then when we got there, I just started like playing way faster than like I'm supposed to. Like the songs, I was like totally off like time. Like, I mean, everyone kept up with me. Like
after the show, they're like, "What the fuck was that, Connor?"
Yeah, they're like, "Bro, you were kind of going fast," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry guys, like I got anxious as fuck." And
it happens, man.
Over time, it slowly starts to like the anxiousness starts to like go down, and it's like, okay, cool, like we're got to go perform, and then then it's just like we do it. But yeah, man, my first show was just super like just anxiety filled, and like I was like, damn, like I'm really doing this. It went from like just like a thought and like you could say like a dream to like be on a stage like performing for people, and it being now all of a sudden a reality. It's like a lot of that tends to get like you can be really nerve wracking because you're like, oh man, like
pressure's
like,
on.
Yeah, like the pressure's on. Like now it's time to really like showcase. So yeah, so I'd say it's very anxiety filled.
So compared to that show to the show you just had, what's your feelings on that? Just comparing them.
Man, like comparing them, I feel like now to this point I like got it down like the back of my hand, like like I don't really like, I don't know, actually, well, every time before I get on stage my heart beats just a little bit like quicker, like it's not quite as anxiety and anxious feeling as like it was in the very beginning. Now I kind of got like a little science down to it, and like I've learned like when to put all my energy into like a song, and like when to like chill out on the song, like when breath control is huge when you're performing.
Absolutely,
man, like
dude.
because if you just go and crank out, because I used to do this, I used to just go and crank out like full energy first song, and then like the second song comes and I'm like I'm like dying up there already, and I'm like fuck, man, like how am I about to make it through
we
another
used to have
like
to change our set list for our vocalist
yeah to like
because he needed a break.
space him out
Yeah.
like right yeah to give like his like vocal cords and just like
Exactly.
himself a little like room, you know. And so yeah, like I guess comparatively, like I think I got down to a science now, and like now it's only time for more growth, like on the stages, you know. So like I really would love to like be able to have like a background dancers behind me and like have like fucking like images, like a visualizers going on like a screen behind like, you know, like behind me too, like that, and like lights, and like now it's just time to really just like get that like final cement like for the performances, you know. And like it's gonna come over time, like because now I'm just now kind of cementing a final like a actual live band, like cementing that, and that's only for Dallas right now, you know. It's like I don't know like what happens when I got a show in like New York or whatever, because you know it's it's expensive as fuck to load up everyone and like get everyone out there, and like not everyone wants to come out of pocket for that, and like I don't have the money to be like, hey bro, I got your ticket, come and play. Like, you know, like so it's
all
like
your
really,
shit just times by 6, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And so then it goes from like just like a solo, cool, I'm gonna fly out to LA and perform, to like, all right, fuck, like I gotta somehow afford to be able to like take everybody with me.
For real.
And so then that it really just comes down to, I guess, like the like loyalty and truth of like how close of like the friendship is, and how, you know, how much we each believe in each other to be like, all right, bro, I'm gonna buy my ticket and bring my drum set and we're gonna go out there.
That's
like,
a leap
you know,
of faith,
like,
man.
you know. And so at the moment, I'm just now finally, like I said, cementing in like a Dallas band, and so hopefully it'll be the same people to travel the nation with me and do all these other shows. But until that moolah shows, then it's like, you know, no one really wants to really take it the full force until the money comes, which, you know, it is what it is. But yeah,
Fuck yeah, man. I think we got a good bit here.
I think so too, bro.
I'm cool with it if you are, man. We already wrapped it up on earlier, so
Yeah, for sure. So
this has been dope, dude.
once again, bro, I really appreciate you for like having me on this, and the opportunity to just like come speak my mind some, and I don't know, man, just have a good time and conversation.
Please come back.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It'd be an
I
honor.
think you're on your way up, dude.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Fucking no jumper shit he's got going. But now he doesn't even really do that anymore, and now it's all fucking plug talk. And
Yeah, and really it's like I think like House Phone and somebody else is like I think taking charge of the podcast now. I don't know. I haven't really kept up with it too much.
a lot of respect to the dude though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. Cuz like shit, he built something from the ground up, so
No shit, dude. I mean, if you watched him all the way from the beginning when he had the shop in LA to like now, it's the craziest progression, dude.
biggest progression.
Yeah.
Like it's actually insane. It's actually really inspirational too,
No
because it's
doubt.
like, damn, he really turned nothing into something. And I think what really helped him too was when he went on that tour with Lil Pump and Smoke Perp. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what really like changed the game for him too, because then it actually, and it's funny, I just saw a tweet from Sean Cotton earlier, because someone had asked him, they were like, yo, like what? They're like, I have a podcast and media outlet, whatever, da 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 da. Like, what did you do that like, you know, helped you like get to where you're at? And then he had quoted it, and he was like, I just said fuck it, hopped in the car, and would like drive whatever it was, 4 or 5 hours, or to the next city or to the next like nearest state,
Right.
and like give an interview to like the top 5, like whatever, top 5, 10 like artists that were buzzing in that city at the moment. And like, because, you know, those type of people that are like kind of like me, where they don't have like a platform to just talk and like share shit, and so they're like, yeah, like fuck yeah, I'll be on this podcast. And then that kind of helped elevate him to where it was like, not only now did he have like his few Dallas interviews, but now you got like an interview in like Oklahoma, and then you got interviews in this, that, and the third, and it kind of helped like expand it, like make it even bigger. And so back to Adam on No Jumpers, I think that's what really helped him, was going on that tour with Pump and Perp to like be able to just like network more outside
get
of
his
just
face out
like
there.
LA, you know? Yeah.
For sure, you got to get out there nowadays, and And you've been on tour, right?
I wouldn't quite say a full tour, but like mini tour.
Was that all self-promoted?
Yeah.
No shit. That's the way to do it, man.
I mean, I wasn't like the headliners, but like it's self-promoted in the sense of like I was just I get like yeah, because it was all independent people too, like Big Baby Gucci. I was just in New York with him last, what was it, like end of July or early August, something like that, Panda. And then so that whole tour was funded by like I guess him, and so that was really cool to be a part of that. Like, and man, I've been a part of Tay Money shows. I've been a part of I was just did the Kasky show in January.
Kasky's dope, man.
Yeah, and you know like I'll say it on the podcast, like I had no clue who he was until like I got offered the opportunity like to open up for him. And honestly, a huge shout out to Aeronautics and Tyron. He's the owner of Aeronautics, and that's a show company that started out here.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff out here.
Yeah, and now they're like all across the nation, man. Like really, Tyron's the reason why I've been able to like have shows in New York and like you know perform in New York and to perform in LA and to perform in Oklahoma and perform in like all these different like spots is really all thanks to like Tyron. Like,
that's dope, man.
And so I got to give my thanks and kudos to him for that, because he believed in me enough to be like, yeah, bro, like let's do it, like let's run it, you know, let's see what we can make happen. And from there is, you know, everything's just been progressively growing and growing and growing, and it's cool as shit, and I'm really proud of him. So thank you, Tyron. Yeah, shout out Tyron.
Is that the only kind of company you've been working with lately? Was Aero?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I've had a few different other like show promoters and things like that. Like, you know, reach out and tap in, and I've done like a few shows with other promoters. But I'd say like 85-90% of like my shows are really with like Aero, and really that's just because I feel like a lot of other show promoters kind of like gatekeep in a way. Like you don't, you know, like they don't. Which is fine, like I get it. Like if I was the show promoter too, and I just brought out like fucking Travis Scott or like fucking like Gucci Man or somebody, you know, really big, like obviously I'm not gonna like give everybody and their mother the opportunity to open up for it. Like, so you know, I get it, but yeah, man, like really just Tyron is who I work with primarily on the shows. But I'd love to start working with other people on shows too. But other people, you know, I kind of, over time, in the very beginning, I had to pay to play. And, like, to a degree, like, I still do have to pay to play. Like, so, like, New York and things like that, like, I had to pay to play. But that's, like, that's fine. Like,
it's an investment.
Yeah, exactly. It's an investment at which point, like, it's fine. Like, and a lot of, you know, up-and-coming artists kind of, like, don't want to pay to play. And they just expect to be paid to play.
Yeah.
And, like, if you can't bring the show promoter the money, like via ticket sales even, like what makes you think that you deserve to get paid to perform? Like, you know,
that's some entitlement.
Like, you know, for real, like that's actual entitlement. And like, you know, I'll admit to a degree too, you know, I kind of went through a little phase like that for a little bit, like early 2019, and but you know, reality checks and shit. So like I had to like, thankfully it's like all my, you know, the people I surround myself with kind of like help me keep in check and stuff. Like if I'm ever getting to like, you know, they'd be like, hey bro, and you know, we like kind of like keep each other in check. But fucking, damn, I slipped my mind where I was going with that. But pay to play, duh. But yeah, man, like to all upcoming like artists and stuff, man, like if you find it beneficial, like pay to play. Like, I mean, like, if it's a beneficial show, like, do it. Like, obviously, here in Dallas now, I don't pay to play anymore. Like, if I'm not getting paid or there's not a ticket break, I'm not doing it. Like, simple. Because, like, I have the following and the base here in Dallas, like, to where I could confidently be like, yeah, like, if I got a show, I'm reeling in, like, 40 to 100 plus people. Like, you know? And, like, that's pretty solid. I feel like I should be getting paid, like, you know, like especially if tickets are $20 a piece.
For sure.
If you're selling fucking, if my name alone was able to sell you 40 tickets for $20 a piece, that's $800. What's the problem with paying me $300 for the show?
Or giving you some of the bar or something.
Right. Yeah. Like, you know, like what, like some of these promoters too don't really actually, you know, see that value as well too. Like they don't want to pay the artist, or like they'll, just, oh, here's the show, come on it. But then you're selling all these tickets for them and you don't see a fucking dime.
Right.
And it's like I just have began to learn my worth, where I'm like, I'm not going to do a show out here in Dallas for any less than like 300 or 250. And like, I'll work with you, obviously, if like you come with me correct and you're like, hey man, like, this is my budget. Like, is there any way to work with this? And then like, that's when I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yes
You know
or
your
no.
worth. You know your worth now. You're at that point now where you can charge.
Right.
Yeah.
But specifically in Dallas, though, like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, somewhere like a LA or a New York or a Oklahoma or a Florida or a fucking Arkansas or wherever else, like, I could see where I would still need to pay to play, because, like, I'm not going to guarantee anybody, like, ticket sales,
Right.
So things like that, I would, depending on the show, is beneficial to me. Like, the Big Baby Gucci one, like, that was beneficial to me. I was in New York. No Big Baby Gucci's, like, he's upcoming. It was a great show. We sold that bitch out in New York. Like, like, he sold it out, and then, I mean, we were walking the streets and like getting people to come. Like, we honestly did reel in like 30 plus people to like that Big Baby Gucci show in New York, and nobody knew who we were. Like, nobody knew who we were. Like,
That's just the power of your charisma, man.
Realistically, it probably was. And like, what really helped too is like not being from there. So like, when I went to New York, I performed at the Bowery Electric, and that's apparently, like, in New York is like one of those really like stapled type of venues, like kind of like the House of Blues is here, or like
used to be.
yeah, like, and like one of those staples where it's like, oh wow, like even Green Elephant used to be like that. Like, it used to be like wow, you're playing at Green Elephant, like, but then it just became like watered down. But it was one of those types of situations where people are like, whoa, like, you're not even from here, and like, you're performing at the Bowery, like, we're gonna come.
Yeah.
And then it's like, bet, like, thanks, like, and you don't know me and you're gonna come, like, just because I came from Texas to come up here and perform, like, they wanted to come, and so it was cool. But yeah, man, so I don't see anything wrong with pay to play as long as it's beneficial to the person. Obviously, like, if you got a bunch of like local people that aren't necessarily like have a big fan base to where you can be like, okay, like, maybe I can get my name in front of all these people, and it ends up just being kind of like,
It's networking.
yeah, exactly. And it just ends up, most of the time, it ends up being you pay to play and you're performing in front of a bunch of other people who also pay to play. And then there's like no actual growth of
You're just playing
anything.
the
Yeah, like,
bands.
yeah, exactly. Like, you're just playing for the other artists. And like, at the end of the day, like, artists, I feel like, I mean, even including myself to a degree, like, I'll have a different, like, like a sort of like an ego, but not quite an ego. It might not be the right word. Let me think of the right word. Everyone just thinks they're better than everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Good way to put it.
Like, yeah, like, and versus like being able to acknowledge, like, oh damn, like, bro actually goes a lot harder than me, and like, kind of just like giving a little bit of flowers. And it doesn't mean like tell yourself that you're trash, but it just means like, know when to just know your role, know your place, like, like, and know like when
know
it
your role.
read the room. Yeah, exactly, read the room. Very well put.
Right. I get that, man. I mean, yeah, read the room.
It's just read the fucking room. Like,
It'll take you a long way.
for real. And a lot of people don't know how to read, so the room just never gets read.
So how did you score that thing with Caskey and Tay Money? How are you getting these gigs like that, man?
Man, Tyron, bro. Like,
Okay, so
like
still
Arrow.
Arrow.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
But what's
Moving
crazy
on.
is with Tay Money is fucking dude, I was doing stuff with her. I mean, we weren't like friends doing like stuff like making music or anything like that, but like we were involved on all the same different lineups and cities and shows and stuff,
Yeah.
like before she got her success. And so I mean, I remember doing the first ever Tay Money LA. Like, I could probably pull up the flyer like on my phone, like if I scrolled up high enough, like, where it's like Tay Money's first ever LA show, and I'm part of it, and so is like a few other people and like
That's
a few
cool. So
other.
y'all just always been kind of around in the same.
Yeah, like in the same, like, yeah, exactly, in the same environment. And And then and then the Kasky one just kind of came up out of nowhere because of Tyron. He like hit me up. He was like, "Yo, bro, I got this like show that I think you'd be a really great fit for."
Yeah.
And
I think
then
that is a good fit for you.
it was fun, man. It was really fun. Like, and then it was an honor to be able to like actually meet Kasky and
Seen
like,
that dude's head tattoo?
dude, it's
What the
it's
fuck?
insane. Like I was
it's like a whole skull. It like wraps on his head like
yeah,
this,
it's like
dude.
chomping
Yeah.
his head almost. Like
Man, I was following him on Instagram when he was getting it, and dude, that's some gnarly shit. It's fucking sick.
it really is, dude. And yeah, man, it's just been like the list goes on actually of who I've opened up for. It's just like it's crazy. I was actually just telling this guy the other day when I was at the Battle of the Bands thing. He was like, "So what do you do, bro?" And da 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 da. And then I was telling him my rundown. I was like, "Dude, I do photography, I do videography, I do graphic design, I do shirts or clothing, I make music, I do this, that, the third, you know." And then like. And I just started. Then we started chopping it up, and I was like, honestly, man, like life is moving so fast that like I just like forget like all the shit that I do sometimes, man. Like I'll have to be like reminded almost, like, hey, bro, do you remember when you were opening up for da 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 in da 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 city? And I'm like, oh shit, that did happen. Like, and so like, I really need to get better at like writing down all this shit, 'cause I need to make like an artist like what's the word I'm looking for? A resume, an artist resume. I think it's called like an EPK or something like that. I could be totally wrong. I think that's the name though. Is that the name, EPK? And I really need to make one of those because I think it would help me like get into even like more doors, like
Sure.
to be able to open up for like even bigger names, you know? 'Cause like, dude, like I have a track record, man. Like, you know, I really have a lot of stuff that I've done that I really need to start writing down what I've done, because like I guess I just forget like all the things that I've done. Like, bro, there's just an example is like there's like pieces of clothing that I've made that like I completely entirely forgot that I've made, and then like they'll show up to like one of my shows in it, and I'm like, whoa, like I forgot I fucking made that. Like what? Like,
Yeah.
and it'll be in like mint condition still, like, you know, they're like, and I love it
That's
because
awesome, man.
they'll like
They held
treat
on
it,
to it.
yeah, like, you know, like they'll treat it like it's like a designer piece, and like,
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm gonna hold on to this. I just want to show this again.
yes, please.
Got the Heartbreaker hoodie in there.
And that's crazy because that's like an OG type of like design that I did.
Say they are. Yeah, I think that's sick down the sleeve, man. That's awesome.
And those actually became you know, let me give you a little breakdown on Heartbreaker, bro. Like, cause I want to share it, and like I feel like it might help other people potentially like with their own like decisions in life. Heartbreaker was an EP, but my first ever EP that I ever dropped in 2017. I'm pretty confident early 2017. Yeah, because 2016 is when I was making it. Yeah, early 2017 is when I dropped that, and that was my first like little body of work that I've ever put out. And I was like talking to Jay Spinna and Dante. Shout out Dante. He's the owner of Barely Legal Global, and it's actually the hat that I have on right now with the smiley face. I was talking to them, and I was like, man, like I would love to be able to wear like my own shit. Like, you know, I'm tired of like wearing everybody else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hit up this dude named David. Shout out David. He was the person who made my first ever hoodies. And I only got a very limited amount, like basically just me and like the team. That's it. Like, you know, I had one, Dante had one, Spinna had one, and like handful of other people had one. And then I just started wearing it like consecutively out, like to shows I was performing at, and then I got a version where I did it with like the sparkles, and then that like just blew people's mind.
The Metallica vibe is sick, man.
Yeah, dude, that's another thing too, is like I really went with that like Metallica like vibe font, because like how we were talking about earlier is like I listened to a bunch of like rock and like alt music, and like I guess like I don't know what you fully could call Metallica, because they're not quite metal, but they're not quite like,
I think they're just right in that vein of rock.
yeah, we'll just call it rock,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just
yeah.
rock.
And so I wanted to kind of like pay like some homage to that, because like that's like really where my roots are, is like rock music and stuff, you know. And so I was like, I want to do the Metallica font, and then these bitches just started like going crazy, like everyone just wanted them out of nowhere, like in the city. And then so I started pushing them, like, and then I made the mistake of taking it and making it into its own brand and entity versus it being still merch for Connor Gibbons. And
okay. So you made that hard divide.
yeah, so I made that super hard divide where like when anyone would call it merch, it'd be like, no, it's a clothing brand. Like it's not fucking merch. Like, you know, like don't call it merch. Like I went on that for like the longest, and like I really truthfully feel like that's where I flopped, is like by doing that. And if I would have just kept it as like merch for me, I feel like I'd be a little bit further than where I'm at right now, but that's okay. Like, you know, we all live and learn. But
merch is small potatoes, man. Don't trip on that.
right. But it's just the sense of like it's separated, like I was saying. So like, you know, so it went from like, okay, this is bro's like merch, let me check out his music too, to just like this is his clothing. And then like all my music and like everything else that I had to bring to the table and offer was like out the window.
Right.
And so like I feel like if I would have just kept it as one, probably would have, you know, changed a lot of things. But like you said, like it's merch ultimately. Like, you know, it is what it was. But like
I think it's dope merch, man. And I think you got a talent as a clothing designer.
thanks, man. I appreciate
You
that.
got an eye for it.
It's actually funny because I'm not gonna out him. I'm not gonna say his name because we're cool. But he told me, he walked up to me, which I respect him for telling me it because, like, you know, like shit, most people don't ever speak their mind, so respect. He goes, "Yeah, bro, you should really just quit the music shit because it's really not it. But the clothing, bro, you going dumb on the clothing." And
I
like,
think you're doing great on both,
and
man.
thanks, man. I appreciate that. And like that little comment that was made, like, drove me to be like, you know what, man, like, I'm gonna prove all y'all wrong, bro. Like, fuck y'all. Like, because obviously you're not the only person who thinks that. And so, but like I said, I really respected it and appreciated it that he did share his mind, because, you know, a lot of people don't share their mind either. They'll just be like, oh yeah, it's good, or your music's great.
Yeah,
And then
lie
like,
to your face.
yeah, lie to your face. And like my favorite thing that I love to do whenever, like, you know, like someone's like, yo, show me your music, and then I play them something, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, it's good. I'll look them dead in the eyes, like I'm like looking at you, and I'll be like, are you just saying that because you're in front of me, or like do you
yeah.
actually mean it? Because I'm not
Right.
gonna be offended, like, if you didn't like it.
Tell me straight up.
And then, yeah, just like tell me straight up, and then their whole demeanor will change. They'll be like, oh,
Well, actually.
well, actually, like, yeah, you know, and then they'll like tell you some shit, and then it's like, okay, cool, like, thanks for like actually keeping it fucking real and like being like, you know, human, and like
that opinion is gonna hit you a lot harder than the fucking fake guy in your face saying, "Oh man, this is awesome, this is great," you know. Because
Right.
you want that real criticism, so
Right,
you can
and,
make
like,
better stuff.
make better stuff, and like, you know, it doesn't mean like, are we running out on the memory thing?
But we're getting there.
Okay, all right, do we need to change out real quick?
That's all good. Wrap it.
Okay, we'll wrap up this little quick thing, then we'll get a new one in there.
Yeah.
But fucking damn, I can't believe 20 minutes went that fast.
Right.
But there's a difference between like constructive criticism to someone versus just being like a straight up fucking dick, like, you know. And then
Most of those people are just haters anyway, though.
facts,
So don't listen to them.
facts
You know?
though, facts.
Well, shit, man. Let me give you a chance to just kind of promote anything, any shout outs, anything. Like, obviously, your upcoming show, your album. Man, lay it all out there.
Shoot, man. There's a lot.
So where can we find your music? Where can we come see you at? The clothing?
Yeah, okay. So you can find my music on literally every and all streaming platform, from Spotify to Apple Music to Tidal to YouTube to SoundCloud. Not as much SoundCloud. I don't really release any of my newer stuff on SoundCloud. A lot of my old stuff is on there. Any merch and clothing for now, you can tap in with me personally, like through DMs, and then I'll ship it out to you, or
So hit them in the DMs.
or do pickups.
Yeah.
And shoot, I'm currently working on a whole new project right now too. It's gonna be a follow up to The Show Must Go On, and that one is going to be called The Tour of Emotions. And what I want to kind of do on this project is not necessarily keep it just like in one kind of pocket of genre, like how I did on Show Must Go On. It was a lot of alternative kind of rock and like a little hip hop influence in there too. On this one, I want to be able to take you from like a pop banger, like a summer pop banger, all the way to like a rock track, all the way to like hip hop, all the way to the cross blends of like all the different genres in one.
Yeah, man.
And like just kind of want to take everyone on like a little like a tour of emotions, like, you know, like going from sad to lit to this to that, and make it like a roller coaster kind of ordeal, you know. And then but yeah, so I'm working on that right now. And D Savage shows on the 30th. I'm opening up for Maddox in the summer. And man, shoot.
So where are they getting tickets to your D Savage show?
Through me. You can get them through me.
Alright.
I'm doing the tickets are $35 for general admission, or I'm doing $50 with an exclusive T-shirt like made by yours truly that'll go with the ticket, you know, so people can come out in their gear and have a good time and shit,
Signing them
man.
too, right?
Yeah, I signed the tickets too. Yep.
Hell yeah.
So like me and everyone that's involved in the show, like we'll all sign the tickets. So it'll be like me, and then I'll have Panda sign, Dylan sign, Barry will sign, and things like that, man.
That's awesome, man. I love it, man. I really respect the hustle. I think you're out here really killing it. Everybody, man, really go check him out. He's a genuine artist, genuine songwriter, and I don't say that lightly.
Thank you, man.
Please check it out. The guy's got some killer music. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Shoot. I believe in me, so that way y'all can believe in you. And I don't think you should ever give up on whatever it is that you want to do in your life. And no matter how many people try to discourage you and tell you that you can't do it, I believe that you can. And yeah, man, just please never give up on yourselves. And no matter how low you may feel in life, just know that people care and love you, and like don't want to see you fall down in a dark path and lose yourself. So with all that being said, man, just like please love yourselves. Try to take care of yourselves more. I'm working on that myself too. And yeah, man, just don't stop believing, bro, and just keep. Sky's the limit, and don't let anybody tell you that you can and can't do. And shit, whoop this life's ass, man. Like,
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, y'all be you, we're gonna be us. Y'all take it easy.
yes, sir, and that's what's up with it. That is what's up with it.
If you'd like to see raw, unedited, live episodes, follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/whatsupwiththat. To watch full episodes of What's Up With That, subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/whatsupwiththat. Don't forget to follow the crew on Instagram at 27, at Jake Digital Media, at Kens Martin, and at What's Up With That.